And we are live.
That was a real pause statement you said right there. Pause.
Boss, welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. Starting in just a minute. Has this theme song always gone on this long?
Yes.
See you so much longer tonight. Okay, here we go. Here's where the magic happens. Fanboy Modeling School. Hello, here I am, the Fat Mantis, not missing a beat. Welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD. I'm here with my co-host, my man,
Steve. Real name, no gimmicks. What's up, my brother?
No gimmicks tonight, man?
No gimmicks tonight, man. No gimmicks, no inebriation, no spirits in my man Roy tonight. We got us a sober Mantis tonight.
I realize it's making me analyze my life, this new sober thing. And I realize that, like, I'm a funny guy when I'm drinking, but really I'm just a bitter ass fool. I'm just a bundle of bitterness and vengefulness right now. So for all you those, we were originally not even going to talk about it on the episode. However, I accidentally named the episode the sober episode. So we are doing, me and my cohort here, we are doing a dry January, which means I'm sober as fuck.
How's it feel, man? Because I've gone stints, currently on a stint right now without any inebriation. How's it feel for you, man?
So, as you know, my longest, in recent years, my longest stint is like 3 days. So this is definitely longer than I'm used to. Life is fine. Life is fine.
Right. Sorry, excuse the coughing.
You know what it is? I've started to realize the dynamic of humanity. And let me ask you this. I'm sorry to get all philosophical with you guys before we start talking about stupid things like the Golden Globes and Jonathan Majors' narcissism. But here's what, you ever analyze something about life and you're like, I understand why our ancestors made it this way. It all makes sense. And so I finally understand that the sun setting is why people drink. Right. So as the sun is setting, you start to ponder your day, your rough day. You have to deal with your family. Normally, a caveman would be out hunting. But he's come back, and now he's got to deal with some bullshit. He has to reflect on all the other bullshit going on, the troubles of tomorrow, and the troubles of yesterday trying to catch up with him. And that these thoughts and ideas creep into your head as the sun sets. And that's why at night people are like tempted to reach for the bottle. What do you think of this theory?
I think that is an interesting one. I don't disagree with a great majority of it. I'm contemplating what a caveman's woes would be like in practical time. It's like family didn't get eaten by a mammoth, Yeah, absolutely. No one got devoured by a saber tooth, man. I think the thing about like sobriety, man, is just this, like, it is, if you have FOMO, it is one of the worst feelings to get over, is the FOMO part. Like there's always the lingering, I could be having so much more fun if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely. And so that's funny you said that, because I guess that's probably where it comes from, because I always had the worst FOMO.
Right.
I will go to a place I'm not having fun, just so because if you think someone, even if someone will make a funny joke, you're like, well, I was there for that joke.
Right. Yeah.
Shellin says, yo, we've also got ourselves Shannon. How are you?
Hello, Shannon.
Holla at your boy. It has been a while that I've seen you in stream. I see you on Discord though. Amazing human being. Shellen says, these intros be getting you, Mantis. Discord had you last week. Yeah, absolutely. And if you notice, there's no Rumble today because Sober Mantis couldn't figure it out. Big Princess says, hashtag fangirls for fanboys. Don't forget to like the live. Thank you so much for being the manager of the year, Princess Bex. I'll say this. We're acting like we're the ones who originated like drinking on stream.
No,
I gotta tell you, all these motherfuckers are drunk out here.
Bro, just think about this for a second, man. And real quick, before we get any further into the show, Live 365, Riz Radio. You can download the app across all 3 major app platforms. That's Amazon, Google, and the Apple App Store. You can also go to www.live365, go through the radio stations. Look for the only one that matters. That's Riz Radio, where yours truly has a show Thursday and Sunday nights, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. We were partying last night in the Discord chat. If you want to join that party in the Discord chat, hit me up. But get that app, man. Get some of this Riz Radio.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Now I'm going to be all about that, shilling that, because my show premieres on this coming Monday the 15th. That is also Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Day. No, just a coincidence.
Man, this is supporting critical race theory. He's trying to corrupt the children.
No. That's what sobriety gets you. Basically, the idea is I'm going to be doing that thing. I'm probably going to be taking the 4 to 8 p.m. spot. Hope you're all there. I'm also going to be doing live streams in my Discord simultaneously, so you can hang out with Mantis while you listen to Mantis on the radio. It's freaking genius. Shannon, this is 18 months here, Mantis.
Hey,
wow. Yeah. I didn't know that. Wow. Congratulations. So men should just stay at work. So actually, Rebex, I got to tell you this. That's actually a phenomenon. That's actually a thing men do. If you ever wonder when a man is addicted to work and he never comes home, and you're like, he's cheating on me. He's not. He just doesn't want to come home. It's a completely different type of disdain that he has.
Can't even muster up the energy to cheat on you. He's
he's in the office answering emails and doing some other shit he should have done 7 hours earlier.
Right.
Rogue Radio, what up?
Rogue?
I can't even make out what her logo is. But it looks amazing.
It's the radio antenna with the frequency going out.
But it's all energized and
yeah, it looks good. I like it.
RM in the house. Welcome, RM. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah, no, it's interesting though, man, because just the concept of like not drinking, right? Not drinking, not partying. So what do? Right? I was sober for 10 years, went to AA meetings religiously in those 10 years. And I got to tell you, man, I was bored out of my fucking mind most of the time. For 10 years, I had found other competing higher pleasures, things to do that like kind of entertain me. I was going to the MMA gym, all types of stuff, but nothing that quite hit the spot. And this is alcoholism speaking right here, or a person that enjoys a casual drink here and there. That was like drinking, right? As soon as I took my first drink after 10 years, and I don't suggest this to anyone that's an AA, man, stay the course. But as soon as I took my first drink, right, it was as if it went from 720p to 4K, right there, man. Like instantly, shit was so.
Oh man, why did you say that? Why did you just fucking say that? Like,
all the rumors you've heard in AA, folks, it's all true. People who are drinking they're prone to two things, right? They're gonna have more fun than you for sure, and they're gonna die from liver failure, right? So just stay in AA, man.
Well, I will say this: at least I'm at that age, like. When I was younger, older people were constantly working. They're like, I work 3 jobs. I'm like, do you need 3 jobs? No, I don't. And they're just constantly doing stuff. I'm like, how do you live like that? I like to chill and relax, bro, Ham. I've hit that age where I just like to be busy. So I'm not bored, but it's because I have so many hobbies, so many side hustles, so many passions that I find myself, I never have time for anything, basically.
Yeah, man. Listen, hitting the gym. I hate going to the gym, man. I would much prefer go train, go do some jits, hit some mitts and hang out and shit like that. It's a much better and interactive workout. But I've been hitting the gym, man. The other day I was in there and I got a call from work, and it just dawned on me how much time work takes up in my personal mental you know, surroundings and everything, because I actually got off the fucking treadmill, man. I was on a full sprint, got off the treadmill like, fuck, bro. Hello, Steven speaking. How can I help?
To answer a work call?
To answer a work call, man. To answer a work call. So I'll be abstaining from that shit. They tried to call me the other day when I was off last week, and I was like, I don't think I'll be doing that. But that's neither here nor there. You folks can come here to hear about how boring Mantis is now. You came here to hear our thoughts on even more boring topics, man. Jonathan Majors obviously doing his first interview since the entire thing has transpired, right? First comments, interview, the whole nine. We got some white knights in the video game world body shaming a woman because she's just not real enough, right? We'll get to that one.
That's the whole industry right now. We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
And then, of course, Cat Williams. You know, we did talk about this last week, man. And as two black men, we should really get in on this. Cat Williams out here, quote unquote, exposing the truth, actually challenged Kevin Hart to a joke off, a rap battle, or even a boxing match. He's like, I'm coming to your hometown, man.
They're battling in every way known to man. They're going to do thumb war. As well. That is crazy. Over on my docket, we've got the Golden Globes to talk about, and then of course we've got the Epstein list. Now, however, guys, we're not going to reach the dark side of it. We're going to do the comedy. Have you heard about everything going on with Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. And then also, I'm still at it. I still want to talk about Star Wars. I'm still angry. You know, maybe I don't remember what my drunken rant was last week, but I certainly have one now. Guys, I swear I'll try to make it a little different. Sheldon says, you guys need to talk about Cat Williams. We absolutely are. Rogue Radio says it's a radio tower, but it's a super radio tower. It's not just any radio tower. Shanny says it's boring.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm telling you, bro, you've never been to AA, right? Yo, you know what the most horrible thing I ever did when I was in recovery? I used to go to AA dances and like NA dances. So you got a bunch of people hopped up on cigarettes and energy drinks, Monster cans this big. And I remember standing there at a convention watching people try to dance to the cha-cha shuffle or whatever that shit is. And I'd realized I'm not having fun.
Right. Oh, man. Remix says this is going to be a good episode. So, my man.
Can I get an honorable mention?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about an honorable mention.
Oh, my goodness. The Pod Wars are popping off, my guys. If you don't know what a Pod War is, it's that time of season in podcast land where the biggest podcasters start going for each other's necks, man. It seems to happen. Well, it happens all year round, but particularly around the season. And Joe Budden, in case you didn't know, it's Joe Budden, not Buttons, is the #1 hip hop podcaster. I don't know if you were aware of that. Like, he's universally recognized, puts a lot of production and effort into the show. Again, I enjoy Joe Budden more in this incarnation of his career than when he was
in the 90s when he was.
That's not to say he ain't got bars. You know, he's got dope mixtapes, all that stuff. But I really respect his business acumen and how he's built this thing up. So he came after my favorite punching bag on the internet, right? A man much richer than me, so don't need to punch down when I mention your name, Adam22. Joe Budden had on 3 young brothers. I forget the name of their podcast, but it's dope. It's they basically critique and comment on other podcasts. Not the most original idea, but they do extremely well. And they were on Joe Budden's show on his Patreon episode. And they asked him, you know, let's do the worst pods awards, right? And he gave it to No Jumper. Straight up, without even hesitating. He said, No Jumper is the worst podcast. It is falling apart.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. It has not even been a podcast or a YouTube channel for well over a year, I'd say. Every time I go on, it's just drama and not actually content that I want to see. Right. They didn't even talk about hip-hop anymore.
No.
There's hip-hop things going on in the peripheral, but they're not even talking about shit.
Right.
So why am I tuning in? I stopped listening to these guys. As a matter of fact, I stopped listening to these guys, and then you force me to listen because you always bring Adam22 up on this show.
Yo, when I say he cooked them, man, he cooked them bad, man. And they basically, the young men that were on the show with Joe Budden, they're like, hey, so what free advice would you give them? He's like, I wouldn't give them any free advice. Fail. He literally said that. He was like, fail. Just let it all burn down. Told Adam to go off, do his thing with his wife, you know, their new extracurricular revenue source of them. Did you know Adam 22 did a reality show that was basically, he produced it and everything, trying to have auditions for the next porn star that was going to sleep with his wife?
This is why I regret listening about this fool. But I mean, I don't even have words. But here's the thing. So look at
right.
What is it? Gabby Hanna or Hannah Gabby, whatever her name was. Trisha Paytas, who actually slept with Adam 22. A lot of these former YouTubers / Vine stars who crashed and burned, and now they're just a joke.
Right.
Did they give up? Did they retire their channels? No, they didn't. No, they did. Yeah. When there was a sign that they were just losing followers, they continue to fly the plane toward the mountain. Till the wheels fall off, these idiots do.
Right.
So I doubt Adam 22. Once he takes serious hits, I don't think that will even wake him up. He's going to squeeze every dime out of YouTube he can.
And as he should, man, as he should. He should 100% with the company and the stage that he's built with No Jumper. I don't believe it's too far gone where they couldn't course correct it, but the only way it can go back to anything of like any social relevance where hip-hop artists actually want to come on there and know they're not going to be self-snitching, quote unquote. And you're an idiot if you go on there and let someone ask you about pending charges. I'm like, next question, you moron.
As you have ranted and raved on multiple episodes, stop snitching on yourselves. Stop talking. I remember you went on a rave like there's one episode, every other word out of your mouth was stop talking. Stop talking to everyone in the hood, because there is, and this isn't a new phenomenon. This dates back in the day. Right. People will do grime, and then they'll be like, I want to advertise.
Yeah, old gangsters can't shut the hell up. They love the camera. Look at him. Look at Gotti. It's not just a minority hood thing. These motherfuckers cannot shut the fuck up. Stop talking. Shut the fuck up.
They need their lawyers in there. Since he starts says, God ain't put wheat, rye, and barley on the earth for y'all to be sober for a whole month. It is just a month, though. If you think about it, it's literally only 1/12. It's not even 1/10 of your year. It's 1/12 of your year. So I feel Cincy Star in spirit, but I got to do this so I don't end up in AA. Remix says, my goal is to make it just so I can be in a podcast war. They'd be so petty. That would be my dream,
bro.
For like another YouTuber. I only shit on Grace Randolph really hard because I want her to be like to fire shots, and then they're like, it's on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's coming, man. Our canceled video, the minute we hit 1,000 subscribers on here, because it won't go to 1,001, and it won't happen at 999. But the minute we hit 1,000 subscribers on here, the exposed video comes. You know it's going to come from someone in our camp, right? There's some treacherous motherfucker hanging out here. Real quick, so Adam 22 did respond, I believe, to the Joe Budden thing. He either responded to it or it was an old clip. We basically took a hard shot across the bow at Joe Budden. He was like, and Adam literally said, I got the podcast game on my back right now, and started referring to a situation we covered here on Fanboy where Joe Budden had Tasha K battled Shock Jock, Celebrity Scooper on, and they did a whole 3-hour Patreon episode, and he didn't air it. And so Adam accused Joe Budden of being scared of Cardi B, and I'm like, that is the dumbest critique anyone's ever had. For someone that fancies himself an intellectual, that might have been the dumbest shit I ever heard.
Wait, Adam 22 fancies himself an intellectual?
Bro, you don't know this, man? When all those cats left his camp, one of the reasons was because he was looking at the meta on YouTube and understood it was leaning towards more social, political, culture war, conversational pieces. That's what people were clicking on. That's at the end, the twilight of the red pill, right? Destiny's over on Fresh and Fit. So he started bringing characters like Destiny on. He had I think it was not the Proud Boys, but the guy who organized the Charlottesville Tiki Torch rally had that guy on.
Tiki Torch Nazis. They're in their khakis. They were in their khakis. They had a latte in one hand, a tiki torch in the other.
But could you imagine
a brand name tiki torch, by the way. They didn't make that shit in the forest.
Walking around as a black person or any person, seeing a bunch of motherfuckers in freshly ironed fucking khaki shorts. And
You're like, are they Mormons? What is going on?
Yo, so he took a shot back at Joe Budden. Basically said that you're scared. You're scared of Cardi B. You're sucked up in the industry. I'm over here keeping it real. In the actuality, I just don't think they're even competing in the same markets anymore, right? You can't tell me who the last high standard hip hop artist that was on No Jumper.
That's right? What I'm saying. It's all drama and fistfights or porn shit. Right. And I can't remember the last time there was an interview that I wanted to see or a hangout session that I had to see. We've covered some on this show, but there weren't ones that I ran to watch. You know?
No. They're basically out of my algorithm unless it's someone dissing them. But that's my honorable mention for the night. You got anything up there, man?
And
it's Michigan for the win.
And it is Michigan for the win. Now, I didn't have any money on this, or emotionally or actual money, because how the fuck is Washington and Michigan going to go to the championships? So, I salute to both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's usually one of like 4 teams. Right. And so it's like LSU, it's Alabama, it's Clemson, or it's the Georgia Bulldogs, right? And it's like usually at least one of them go because they're always bullying all the other teams. The fact that it was none of them, love it.
Just break up the monotony. Yeah, man, these legacy teams not making it is always hilarious to me. Always.
She says, "Go blue." I don't even know what that means. Is that some liberal nonsense? Not on this channel, girly. D says, "Finally, my favorite show. Happy New Year's, Mantis and Steve." Yo, happy New Year, D. That's right. And happy New Year to everyone. If I have not sent you that, love you. 2 pieces. D says, happy New Year, everybody. Everyone's sending her that love. Rogue Radio says, Mantis, unrelated, but I miss our conspiracy lives. I absolutely miss our conspiracy lives. I don't know, Rogue Radio, if you know, you did an episode of your show the other day. You hadn't done one in a while. And I commented on it. And so you were sick. You had a raspy voice. And I commented on it, but I didn't receive any like for it. So whatever. Anyway, let's get into it.
Let's get right into it. So what are we starting with first, man?
I think people want to see Cat Williams. Did you send me a video for Cat?
I sent you a video of Cat Williams. This is fair use, so we have to make sure we're commentating over it. But Cat Williams was on Shannon Sharp's new podcast and has now become the most popular episode ever premiered on that channel. Shout out to Shannon Sharp, called the Shay Shay Room. Oh, I'm sorry, Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay.
And Cat Williams completely blacked out, man. I'm talking about Jaguar Wright blacked out. Like, this should have been on the Black Conspiracy Theory episode we did, because Cat Williams went 100% in. Apparently, according to Cat Williams, everybody's sucking everybody off over in Hollywood to get parts, right?
Well, I mean, that's do we even have to say that? Right? Do we even have to mention that? Yo, the video you sent me is only 49 seconds long.
Yeah, that's as long as it should be.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's like that.
Yeah.
Let's share it. Let's take a look at what's going on here. And then, okay, let's do this.
Same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit. Then you ask him, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You have to have range.
Oh my God.
And if you look on the left there are more clips. I don't know if you want to pick one out, but anyone you pick on.
And I needed you to know why I came by.
Yeah, I need you to tell us why.
People know I don't go everywhere. I'm not interested in talking to people unless
A-Team
it's
is.
like a Larry King or somebody of an amazing ilk that I would actually want to go talk to in real life.
Okay.
I don't do it so I can sell product, and I got things to sell, so let me come talk.
Well, he's a stand-up.
You have
So.
a great product here, and as a fan base, we love the attention that you spend on the guest. We love how much work you've done, how well you know them, how prepared you are. The same things that we liked about you in football. You brought that on over to here, and that's why it resonates. And the reason I had to come is because you've made a safe place for the truth to be told. You know.
So I got to say something, man. In years past, Cat Williams has been on many different places where it started off confrontational, but I will admit this: most times it's someone antagonizing Cat Williams. So most famously, he was on a radio show, and a female comic started bringing up his previous charges, and she said, "Well, you've been to prison." He's like, "No, I've been to jail. I never been to prison.
Oh,
been
yes.
convicted on anything." And he just starts laying into her. And I would have to say, watching this is the first time where it's just like, yo, Cat Williams is mellow right now. And he completely pulled the carpet from underneath everybody.
Because he can go 0 to 100 in like a second, basically.
Yeah, a hot minute.
And I actually love that about him. Sheldon says, if you haven't listened to that episode with Cat Williams, you need to do that. It was just something else entirely. Yeah, no, I need to get on that. Rebeck says, I'm so upset that was a man wig.
Talking about Steve Harvey's fade.
Oh. Not sure why it says 2 comments when I cannot see your comment. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Rogue. But I was there. It was like a Saturday morning, and I listened to it and stuff like that. And you taught me something that's so gross, but I'm not going to bring it up on this show. But it was pretty funny. It was pretty interesting. Everyone check out Rogue Radio. Go to her YouTube channel. Follow her and listen to her stuff, because she hits you off with the knowledge, man.
Fighting a good fight.
Shellen says the minute the podcast started, that man instantly started the murder spree. He aired everyone out.
Yeah,
it was
man.
incredible. Oh my God. And whose podcast is this?
This is Shannon Sharp's podcast, Club Shay Shay.
Oh my God, I'm on that. Is that a helm around his neck? I just realized that. Yeah. Yeah, no, right? Like, that's how baller he is. I wish he had the real size, like some giant.
And you know what he's going to go on to champion here, man, is that the reason he has not experienced the level of success that other people have, like say Kevin Hart, is the old trope and very relevant conversational piece. He didn't want to wear a dress, right? So you can take that however you want it, but he was not going to be the next black comedian that was dressed up in a dress for whatever reason. Now, in full transparency, and to be completely honest, that is not something you just see with black males. It is something that's being highlighted, but in history, comics have worn dresses, white, black, Asian, and it just seems to be somewhere comedy goes. Like, oh, dude in a dress. Now it's a very complicated thing. You can't.
I will say this: are you a 30 Rock fan?
No, I haven't watched it. I've seen a couple episodes. They were funny though.
So there is an amazing episode about this very topic.
Right.
Because so basically, for those who don't know, 30 Rock is a comedy. It's a sitcom about a show that's basically a parody of SNL, of Saturday Night Live. And so Tracy Morgan is in it, and stuff. And so one of the main writers in the show, like in the fictional show, is a black dude they call Twofer. Because he went to Harvard. He's an educated brother.
Oh,
and Tracy is from the hood. He's the comedian, and in it he creates a character who called like Fat Mama, and he dresses up in a dress and all this stuff. And then the educated brother is like, "This is a way for the white man to emasculate you. You can't wear that." And then he's just like, "Think about it." He's like, "Think about it. Dr. Cosby never wore one. You should never." And then he's like, "You're right. That's horrible." And then he passes it on to another actor, and the other actor becomes super famous off of it. And then he's like, "Wait a minute. All great black comedians do drag," and then he's saying like Martin, and he's pointing out like all these people do.
Exactly, man. Tyler Perry built an entire empire.
Exactly. All of Atlanta, Georgia is built off of fucking Tyler Perry's drag. So the question is it really an attempt for white producers to emasculate black men?
That's an interesting one.
Or are we
right?
all
Because
just laughing and having a good time?
that's an interesting one because my mind goes to a place where it's like, where is this dark room conversation happening? Not saying it's not happening, but how far in are you before that producer shows up? Maybe you've noticed them at a few events as your ascent to fame. You know, you're getting higher and higher. You didn't notice him at the first party, but now you see him. He's eating olives. I assume he's drinking a martini, staring at you from across the room, gives you a little wink. And your career progresses. He becomes more prevalent. Now you're starting to notice him in pictures. You've never seen him before. And then one day the contract comes across your agent's desk. More zeros than you've ever seen. And that guy comes out the bathroom, flushes. You don't hear any water running. But he's going like this with his hands, right? Just smoothing his own cock juice into his hands. And he walks over and he says, Mantis, you're going to be big, kid. And I'm going to make you big. But before that happens, come sit on this couch with me. Let's have a
Okay.
conversation.
Whoa. I thought that was going to a different location, man. Here's
Like,
what I'm saying.
how far up do you have to be before they bring the dress out? And they're like, hey, put this on. Let's see.
Okay, so here's the thing. Mantis, I'm just letting you all know like what my limits are, where I'm at right now. I would totally sell out and dress like a woman and do like a drag show comedy, you know, Fat Mama or whatever, you know, or like, you know, Meet the Clumps or some shit style comedy. Absolutely. I find nothing wrong with it. I think we're all just having a good ass time, right?
Right.
But there will be no casting couch. No, there are no zeros. No amount of zeros.
No amount of zeros. Well, that's what Cat Williams alludes to, man. And yeah, I think we're all laughing at, you know, guys in dresses. I don't find it that funny anymore. You know, it was hysterical when I was a kid, right? You know,
Shanae was hysterical on
but
Martin.
you know what? You can't do a character like Shanae now, man. They'll come after you.
Why is it offensive to blacks or is it offensive to trans or what are your thoughts?
I think it would probably be a double-edged sword, right? Offensive to black women. And
Here's what I gotta say. And I think people are gonna think this is unfair, whatever, and all this stuff. Out of all the here's what it is. There are all these downsides to being black, but
Right.
one of the upsides, one of the best upsides, is you can't be canceled. Unless you're a sellout, you can't be canceled. This is the Mantis' statement.
Right.
And that if you're a true brother
Right.
and you say and do whatever, Chappelle style, as long as you just, brush your shoulders off, you're fine. They
Right.
cannot hurt you. And to date, I have yet to see a brother who isn't a sellout who has succumbed to the woke mob of cancelization.
I mean, well, I'd have to do a little memory searching. I will say there is one brother who got himself canceled, right? And he got himself canceled across both aisles. And he would go down to
But you're talking about Juicy Smollett?
Juicy Smollett.
Okay, Juicy Smollett is a different story. And one, I would actively, absolutely say he was a sellout.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding me? White people love that dude.
Gee, that's a good question. I don't think Chappelle has dressed up as a woman. I don't recall it.
He must have had a skit once or twice.
I don't think he
it.
did, man. I don't think he ever had like a crackhead chick. I mean, but isn't Tyrone the crackhead? Isn't that just as problematic as?
I mean, he has a lot of problematic characters, which is why we love him, man. Granny, no.
Let's see. While you entertain the people, I'm going to see. Beck says he did in Men in Tights. Let's see. Dave Chappelle.
Oh well, that's a long time ago. Did Chappelle ever dress like a? That's the question. Actually, it's funny. So many characters. I'm blanking on a woman character for him.
Let's see. I'm looking it up on the wide world of Google. Okay, so Dave Chappelle most certainly dressed like a maid in Robin Hood Men in Tights, along with 3 other of his cast members. It was when they were like raiding a jousting session. But I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, man. What he's wearing right now, comparative to like dressing like Big Mama, that might, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, but to your point about Shanae, right, man? You are not gonna be able to get that one off without, brace yourself, some angry ass chick some angry black woman, right? And I'm gonna say it this way, but I'm gonna keep it a whole bean, man. It's not even gonna be some upwardly mobile sister who's involved in the community or anything like that. It's someone's bum ass cousin, right?
That's who all the loudest activists are. They're the people who don't really care about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who don't watch Chappelle. They probably don't even watch comedy, and they'll be the most offended when they hear, the comedian dressed up and did this and that and the other thing.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing, man. Was it Martin imitating life, man? How many shenanigans has he come across in his own life?
Is brilliant about that. Well, hold on. That is what's brilliant about Martin in general. That show is so true to life. And when I watched it as a kid, I did not realize how accurate it was depicting life. It was a total parody of life until I grew up and I became a man. And it was like, Martin warned me about this shit.
Yeah, you know what's crazy though? Martin had like the best job on that show. You know, he was a radio host. That was his job on the show.
Right. Oh, right. Okay.
So,
yes.
Let's roll this beautiful bean footage.
What I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate
and
that.
I have watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies.
Yeah, wait, hold on. So I absolutely remember that. And actually, I reference it a lot. And so there are many different types of traditions that go on in black comedy or just black fame. And one of them is, some of them lose their mind and they do public flipping out.
Right.
And my prediction is that Doja Cat is the next one. And I believe that it is because fame, it wants you to do more than, in my understanding of it, it wants you to do more than just wear a dress.
Yeah.
Fame wants you to, like you said, there's a casting couch. There's probably a lot of forced drug use, and there's probably a lot of devil worship in there. I believe that strongly. And I think that any good person is going to have a breakdown when confronted with having to do this.
You know who I never think is going to have one of these moments, because I can't imagine anyone having the balls to say it to his face and ask him to do something like this. But someone else pointed this out during this whole discourse when I was doing research on the Cat Williams situation. 50 has never once come out and said, oh yeah, some old dude tried to grab my joint while I was in, you know what I'm saying? Like, because chances are, I think predators recognize this when they're around a much stronger predator. Go with me here, if you will.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean...
like, I would most certainly think a pervert in his predator ways, right? And look, I use the masculine there, even though they're female perverts. When around someone that could possibly kill you...
right, and then not only that, would care more about killing you than keeping the fame.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it to somebody who they're like, if you reject my advances, you won't be famous. I can take away that comedy tour. I can take away that sitcom we've given you.
Yeah,
However, I have a feeling it just strikes me as 50 would rather kill his predator than keep riches and fame.
And this whole thing goes really deep, man. It's like the conversation, get ready for conspiracy, nothing to do with my actual thoughts on a person's lifestyle or any of that shit, man. This is just about the conspiratorial nature of this conversation. What is up with all the young weirdo rappers turning into homosexuals?
Well, I mean, didn't Bex teach us about this when she came onto our show? So there's this velvet mafia who runs hip hop, apparently. At the risk of becoming a target of him, Puffy, man. Puffy's got some shady past stuff going on, right?
Yeah, did they pull poor TD Jakes into this? Someone actually got not deplatformed, but someone TD Jakes shot out a copyright strike at a guy. I think it's something Show Monroe, something that the cat's name is, man. And he accused TD Jakes of being a power bottom and had been alluding through that his entire episode. That video was gone. The bishop said, "I rebuke thee."
And so I don't know. It's if you notice, young Hollywood, young music nowadays, not just in hip hop, but in general, they don't keep secrets anymore. They're blatant and they flip out and they bug out. And so if you remember during Me Too, there were older actresses telling young actresses to shut the fuck up, and they were saying it publicly.
Right.
They were saying, stop your bitching, stop your complaining, blah, blah, blah. Because those poor older actresses fucking went through it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they thought that they're like, this is how it is. You do it and you shut the fuck up and you do it.
Yeah.
Now people are doing it. They're getting abused and then they will blatantly say it. They're being forced to worship the devil and they'll blatantly say it.
Breaking all the rules of the cult.
Yeah, there's the cult is falling the fuck apart. And so that's why I think all these young rappers are coming off, as you say. And once again, we're not trying to shit on anyone's lifestyle. We're just saying this kind of phenomenon would not have existed in the rap scene, say, in the 90s or even early 2000s, right?
Right.
And so now we've got all these rappers who are like, yeah, I suck dick and what? Like, okay, won't be buying that CD. And I know I just aged myself. I said CD.
My 8-track player. No, but it's real, man. So, like, you look at the phenomenon of Lil Nas X, right? I would say that Old Town Country Road, that song, the popularity of it was just starting to wane down. And that's when the conversation about his sexuality started to gear up. Now, I'm not trying to accuse him of anything, but not everyone's going to have that Lil Nas X moment. Now, the next few rappers who came out as gay, it seemed like their career was completely in the toilet. And then my man, Olive Branch Tom, that's what I'm going to call him, came out the bathroom not washing his hands. He's like, you know what really would really bring your career back? Just go ahead. One young cat had on not a corset, man, like a see-through freaking like provocative wear. Went from having dreads that came down like a trapper, you know what I'm saying, to now they're up in pigtails. And I was like, isn't this a trip, man? And that shit didn't help his career at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't. Maybe we're just old and we don't understand these young people.
Oh, no, man.
But it's just more likely that there's, Henry Beck says they're all gay for pay. So.
Gotta pay the bills, right?
And once again, we're not shitting on anyone's lifestyle or anything like that. I don't know. Do we call it a lifestyle anymore? I don't think you're allowed to call it a lifestyle, right?
I don't. Not my fucking problem. Your vernacular constraints are not my issue, man. So I will say this though, right? In regards to this whole topic, man. How deep does the rabbit hole go? Like, I assume there's got to be a guy like the fucking Merovingian from Matrix. That's he's got the red shirt on and everything.
Well, here's what I'm saying, and this is so funny because this relates to our other story, Epstein.
Right.
And so this is why people are so sensitive and flipping out about the Epstein things, is that he was one of those harem havers. And he was the top dog. He's just like, oh, I can get you little girls, little boys, whatever you want. That's how evil this fucker was. Yeah. And they never thought one of those guys who's that powerful, who literally became a billionaire doing it, could be brought down.
Right.
Because most of these guys, we probably have never heard the names of the most notorious people who run it. The people who are running the whole sex trade that runs the Hollywood, we probably have never heard their names uttered. That's how powerful they are.
You know what's crazy about that? And I agree with you. You know what? We were talking about this the other day privately, man, in regards to conservatives just sometimes not knowing how to use this social engine of YouTube, TikTok, all this stuff, man. They get a win and they lose a win. Yeah, it's crazy. Good night, Tim.
Yo, Tim, have a good night.
The conversation around like the predatory type behaviors that may allegedly be happening throughout Hollywood was so much more potent before the crazy people jumped in. You know what I'm saying? Like the hot dog people, you're saying like the Obama's hosting bathhouse pizza parties and stuff like that. And that just completely diluted the conversation to the point where I hear a lot of liberal commentators, that's what they refer to. Like the conversation can be completely halted now by saying that only fringe far-right people believe that there's dastardly shit going on in Hollywood. But then in the same vein, the minute someone says Me Too, it validates that exact same argument. You get what I'm saying here, man?
I mean, they're in my personal opinion, the left constantly swims in crazy paradoxes like that. And so like here's what I'm saying, but basically media, it's been so controlled by the left, and the left has made it so disappealing to someone who's a conservative. Now, I like to say that I'm not a conservative. I think that I'm a moderate or I'm a reactionary, but other people will be like, man, you're clearly a conservative. Whatever the fuck I am, I'm not a leftist. I'm not a libby, right? I'm not a libtard. But what I'm saying is, I'll give you an example. I was flipping through looking for a movie to watch the other night on my bored, sober ass, and I came upon this movie, and I'm not going to say the name of this movie because I don't want it advertised. Okay. But it was rated as one of the best movies of 2020, and I had never heard of this movie. I remember in 2020, I watched a lot of movies that year because of the lockdown and all that stuff. And I was like, I've never heard of this movie. I was like, I need to see it. It's got such high ratings. And this movie, it's like a horror comedy teenage thing, right? There's absolutely no political stuff in it, in the story or in the plot. Okay. And for some reason, they are writing back in 2020, they're having the characters offend and make comments about Republicans, Donald Trump. At one point, the girl looks at the camera and literally flips off Donald Trump. She's like, this is for you, Donald Trump. The movie has nothing to do with the presidency. The line doesn't even make any fucking sense why it's in there.
Wow.
And honestly, the only reason I could possibly ascertain why they put it in there is to offend conservatives.
Yeah, and it's just like the response though is where the footing is lost in the argument, man. And we, like I said before, man, I just want people to accurately represent what it is we're arguing about. I can't stand when a conversation goes to a point where both sides are using red herrings and throwing out terms like, well, by your logic, which I use in argumentation. I use in arguments a lot because I just want people, I'm like, so let's follow your thought all the way through and see where it could possibly lead us in this hypothetical equation. But it's just like this, man. We all know weird shit happens in Hollywood, man. Fuck, remember the Black Dahlia murders in fucking Echo Park? That's some weird shit. That shit took place less than fucking 4.5 miles away.
That was Hollywood. That was clearly some devil worship sacrifice thing going
shenanigans,
on.
Man.
But what I'm saying is the leftists who control the media, they don't want someone on the right. They don't want you or me to be able to use television or radio to convince anybody of anything. That's their domain, and that's why they make it so hostile. And that's why things are so over-sexualized on TV, and that's why things are so disgusting on TV, because they want you, let's say you're a young writer or a creative or an actor, they want you to be disgusted and turn away from it. Look at The Sound of Freedom. Did you see The Sound of Freedom?
Yeah, I can't bring myself to watch it because I know it's a rough movie, man. I want to watch it. The subject matter as a parent is like it's rough.
Here's what I'm saying. It's a good movie and I really like it, but what's crazy is there's no conspiracy shit in it at all. They tell you, they're like, people who watch this type of movie are obsessed with conspiracy theories that the left is on. They don't even mention Hollywood or that kind of, or Epstein or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
in the movie. So I don't even know what their problem is, but that's what I'm saying. The movie went close to the subject matter that they seem to love and they're so into, and they immediately had to blackball it and make it evil.
Well, that's because it shouldn't have been a success all the way down to the point where it's like the dummy seats and everything. Look, here's like to really land this point, man. Let's look at the Playboy Mansion. Everyone would universally agree that there was debauchery going on there, right? And there have been accusations that have surfaced.
I mean, I can only imagine what kind of shit.
Not everyone was a willing participant in the subject matter. Why is that valid, right? Immediately the left jumps on that. Look at this evil patriarchal man forcing these young girls to, do whatever. But you're telling me in the same vein, you don't think that there were predatory producers preying on child actors?
Oh, they don't like to bring it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, it's kind of crazy. And it's like everything with the Epstein list. Have you noticed that they keep pointing out that they're like, we want to, the news constantly regurgitates this idea. They say, just because someone appears on Epstein's client list does not mean that's proof that they engaged in anything. They're saying this over and over again. Like they're giving the benefit of the doubt of someone who could be a horrible child molester.
Right.
But for instance, for instance, January 6 people, they don't give them a benefit of doubt. If you walked in that building on that day, you were a terrorist. But Bill Clinton visits Epstein's Island privately without his wife 97 times, and we're not allowed to make comments that he could be a pedophile? The news is taking moments to have disclaimers to be like, well, just because he did that does not mean, because he was just playing golf over there.
Good point.
Fuck you, mainstream media.
Good point. But the minute you were around a potential allegation on the other side, you are guilty, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Do not pass go. Do not run. I don't care how many beers you like to drink, Mr. Kavanaugh. But his argument
right, exactly.
He's like, you ain't never drank no beer? I was waiting for him to say, you ain't never drank no beer and attacked a woman before? Woo, you ain't lived.
He didn't defend himself well, because I have to say he got too defensive. He should have used logic. He should have outmaneuvered them with logic, but he decided to be belligerent. So
that's what I'm saying. Just let me speak for you, man. It's a well-known fact, right? Especially during Sober January. Let me be your publicist. I'm like, I'll respond to all these questions. Like, where was I? When? Accusations. 10 years ago. No criminal charges. Civil suit. I'm not dignifying that with a response.
Shani loves Sound of Freedom.
Right.
D says everyone should watch that movie. Absolutely. I love that movie. D is giving some love and some fire to my rant. Sorry for going on that rant, guys. Got a little self-righteous there.
Hit it. Let's see.
Talking about things that have never been heard in all of Black Hollywood. They feel comfortable sitting here and lying to you about it.
You gonna set the record straight?
Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Cat Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike.
Wait.
And Cat Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now let's three quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman?
Who is it who claims he was gonna have his part?
Ricky Smiley, man. Ricky Smiley is another celebrated local comedian in the Black community. Some people accuse him of being a part of what they call the New Chitlin circuit, which is just going around doing these smaller clubs and Black communities and telling old timey jokes and shit like that. But yeah, Ricky Smiley, man.
In more movies than he's played a man.
Well, I didn't know
he shouldn't be able. You wouldn't let a athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was...
Sir, no one... Why no... He was with KD?
No one can play a Cat Williams role
Why
in
nobody
anything.
know
No one
this
can be like
story?
him.
You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he... What?
So
Ricky Smiley knows this. It's because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie. But I can tell you this. We auditioned in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was audition number 201. 200 Black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning and you had already had the role and had already shot the role in 4 days? The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom. And that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with.
Whoa! Where did this happen? What just happened?
So if you haven't seen Friday After Next,
I mean,
man,
it's been a while since I've seen it, but
Terry Crews plays like the new Debo, but he's
Right.
Debo with sugar in his tank, right? And he
Right.
gets out of prison and he's attracted, he's still living that lifestyle, right? So he sees Cat Williams' character, the money character, and he's got a perm, nice pressed hair, and he tries to assault him in the bathroom. And then the movie version, the Cat Williams character got his junk in a vice grip, like a literal vice grip, and danced him out the bathroom and was basically telling him, "Can't you tell I'm a boy?" Like, yeah. And Ricky Smiley, in case you didn't know, is he is a homosexual, right? And he's a homosexual comedian, he's a gay comedian, and Cat Williams is alluding to that's why he wanted that part. Pause.
But wait, is he saying that in the original script he was actually
Yeah,
Graped?
yeah.
I don't think that's true. I doubt, like, the way Friday is funny, there's no way they're gonna have someone actually get graped in it, right?
Yeah, Shaolin and Bex took they got it, man. Cat Williams' character Buddy says to Terry Crews' character, "I'm a boy, Damon."
I love all 3 Fridays. Yeah, I don't think the real graping went in the original script. There's no way.
Had to take the risk
Yeah,
in front of the
you see.
studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy,
Right.
where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves a rape. And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are.
Right.
If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting raped in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny.
Yo, that would have ruined the movie if they had allowed that to happen.
Well, wait,
Even for
let
laughs.
me address something. Ricky Smiley may not have come out as gay, but come on. Come on. If you watch him on that,
I mean, his last name is Smiley. Come on.
come on, man.
It would be with him getting raped. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast and crew have never brought up that Ricky Smiley was going to play Money Mike. No one ever saw
So
me
he
put
went
on
straight
a
to the
Santa
drama,
Claus suit.
personal
We got
drama.
a wardrobe department. They made a Santa Claus suit for me. Why that wasn't in the bloopers? Why? And here's the other thing. Everything that Money Mike said, Cat Williams wrote. So what Ricky Smiley say on his? You can't say my lines, I wrote them. That's how I already know that I'm going to be funnier than you. What he told everybody was, Cat Williams, don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steven Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious, not now, then. He was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Cat?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play.
Jesus Christ.
Don't bring the Lord into this unholy.
He's bringing the hammer down on this guy. Yo, this has all been set up to be one big gay joke on Ricky Smiley.
Bro, and the thing is, like Shaolin said, man, the podcast just kind of continues on this trajectory where he just starts calling on people, man. Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, freaking Ludacris, the rapper. He goes after everyone in this, man.
I'm gonna have to check this out. Obviously, we can't explore it all on tonight's episode,
right.
but like, I'm actually gonna have to check this out because I want to hear what he has to say about all these people.
Oh man, so we'll let you folks debate it, man. You go check out the full interview with Cat Williams with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay, man. He went in and it's a viral moment, and then people have responded. Kevin Hart has responded. Cedric the Entertainer responded because he accused Cedric the Entertainer of stealing one of his jokes. And obviously, he also goes on to say here that, I've never been on the Joe Rogan podcast and they probably would never have me on. Joe Rogan was like, I would love to have you on. And I would think that would be a funny conversation in and itself if he was on the Rogan.
I'm going to say this, and once again, I'm not like some Rogan lover as everyone accuses me of, but I will say this. Joe Rogan ain't afraid of nobody in his podcast. He will let anyone, even his biggest haters, on his show because he knows it will bring a good show.
I know one person that'll never go back to the Joe Rogan show ever.
Who?
Probably break down and cry if he gets another invitation. My man Gupta.
Oh, yeah.
That is a classic moment in podcasting history.
That was really good. He ripped him apart, man.
Bro. Come on, bro. He's
Yeah.
like, bro.
He came unprepared too, as I remember. He was not spinning, for a guy who's a doctor, was not spinning any actual facts.
Well,
and Joe Rogan seemed like the more educated, debater.
Well, one was because they completely framed a false, and I hate when people use this term, but they had framed a false narrative about his health and all this stuff. And what was great was Gupta said later on that he wasn't prepared to do such a long form conversation, like 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, which is where Joe Rogan and new media shines, right? It's like, this is a longer conversation than you're used to having on your soundbite clips on CNN.
Right. You say five sound bites. What's your next project?
Yes.
What's up with whatever the lamestream media has told him to say.
Lamestream media. That's right. Get full conservative on them. So about this dirty sex island, what's going on?
So you're saying you want to talk about well, there's a lot of stuff going on with the Epstein thing. Now, I don't know if I've spoke on this particular podcast about my understanding, because I think I understand all the most of Epstein, the conspiracy that is Epstein, and people don't want to admit it. I don't know if we're gonna lose our channel for this, but we're gonna save that for another time, probably.
What, the Epstein Island thing?
Epstein Islands. No, we can talk about it, but I can't tell you about the true conspiracy of what Epstein was, how he got his fortune, and stuff like that. Because that is going to piss a lot of people off. But what is funny is everything going on with Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. So what happened there, man?
So one, I gotta say this first statement, just out the gate. If you are a comedian or in the comedic arts, even an actor, and you can't take a joke, there is something freaking wrong with you. Right? So
go ahead.
Jimmy Kimmel is a huge vaccine dude. He loves it. He snorts the stuff. He tells all the kids to do it. He's like, get your vax. He's like, are you triple, quadruple, whatever vax? And so Aaron Rodgers is kind of a hippie. He's a football player, but he's a hippie, and he doesn't believe, he's like, only natural shit in my body. He's like, the hemp will chase the COVID away. Whatever, right? So Kimmel has routinely attacked, unprovoked attacks on Aaron Rodgers. Right. For years, for the last couple of years, since COVID was a thing, he's attacked Aaron Rodgers and all these things. And so recently, Aaron Rodgers was on a podcast. And so Aaron Rodgers said, they're like, everyone's talking about the Epstein, the Epstein list was coming out. And he said a lot of important people are going to be scared of that list. He's like, particularly Jimmy Kimmel.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely.
Which is hysterical. It's trolling. It's joking around. Everybody relax. So what does the great comedian who likes to hammer people on Twitter all day long, Mr. Sophisticated liberal comedian Jimmy Kimmel do? He threatens to sue him. He immediately says, he's like, if you say anything like that, my lawyer's gonna get on you. And he becomes super serious on Twitter.
Whoa. Defamation. Liabilities.
And I know that's your favorite law in the books. As you know, I hate on it. I hate on that.
That's because you just want to be able to say unprovoked, unsubstantiated shit whenever you.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I do enjoy unsubstantiated bullshit, but I think that's what the people want as well. Right. But like, I just don't, what is up with people not being able to take a joke? And so I saw it on the Golden Globes. This one really ticked me off. This is like a side thing, but so they got this guy Joe Coy is his name. Joe Coy.
Yeah, yeah.
The host of the Golden Globes was horrific. He was just not a good comedian because they wanted to get someone safe. They didn't want another Ricky Gervais situation happening where he's dissing them and he's calling them pedophiles and all this shit.
They have to smile and laugh.
My favorite during that broadcast was every time they kept cutting over to Tom Hanks. Like, Tom Hanks was the biggest hater. He looked like he had literally eaten a pile of shit. His face, he was like, he was getting white boy mad. So they get this idiot Joey Coy for this year, and I'm sorry to call him an idiot. He's a comedian, but apparently he's a comedian. He didn't seem one the other night. But he ended up making a Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce joke, and the joke is that he's just like, Taylor Swift isn't happy being here at the Golden Globes. It's because she gets less airtime than when her and Travis Kelce go to an NFL game. So that's not even that funny a joke. It's just making a joke that she gets a lot of. The camera panned to her. They cut over to her, and she's like slowly drinking water. You see, she's about to flip the fuck out. And I'm saying, here's what I'm saying: she is richer than God. She's probably more powerful than him, at least on an earthly sense, right? Because she's infused with all the satanic might.
Right.
She can't take one little joke.
No, man, because it's no longer the time to be able to joke about the powerful people. And here's the irony about these people who can't take jokes and who lean and slant left, right? They want to speak truth to power, right? But cannot take one joke. Right? They want to be on the highest moral stage. But if you call into question their morality with a simple joke, and this wasn't even like questioning her morality, it's like she gets this blah, blah, blah. It's a very bad joke. Why are you so bent out of shape? I'll tell you why, man. Because she's no fun. She is no fun. I'm telling you right now, man, there's no way she is someone that you're like, I want to hang out with her again on Wednesday. She seems like she would be a real drag to be around, man. And Jimmy Kimmel, I'm sorry, maybe I'm just the only person willing to say this, or maybe people have been saying it and no one's listening. When's the last time you laughed out loud watching Jimmy Kimmel? Like, really tell me about a
kidding me? Are you
kidding me? And you're like, like making ugly faces because he's so funny. Here's the thing, man. You take shots at the guy forever, right? And you're talking about him not being a vaxxer. You can make a joke at his expense, so you made a joke at your expense. That's not slander. That's different than what I believe in. What I do not like is when someone jumps on the mic and says, I know without a shadow of a doubt that Mantis has herpes. And you're like, what the
For some, I will cut anyone who says that about me. Right? You better show pictures. You better have pictures of my dick to prove that I have herpes. But no, I feel you. And well, this is the problem that I have with this law is that it's used to attack people making jokes, hanging out on podcasts, making statements. I'm about to make a few mean statements about Taylor Swift. Because I have a whole theory, and this isn't just about the Satan
Try to
stuff.
steal your cat. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. She has been on some level of fame. When she was younger, she wasn't as famous, right? But she had some level of fame since she was a kid, probably since she was 13, 14. She was, young country star or whatever. And so I do not think that there's any way in reality that she has had a realistic setting of growing up. I bet you there wasn't a person alive who was allowed to make fun of her while she was growing up into teenagehood, into adulthood. And so she's not used to it. She's like a princess in the literal sense of it, that she's so isolated from the world. There is no way she could have a normal conversation, let alone take a joke. Right?
I'm telling you,
Prince
right
Harry
now,
and all over again.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, man, right now, allegedly, my opinion is she's not that much fun to be around. I'm telling you right now, it's her time is coming where it's just like something comes out, man. She just doesn't, she just doesn't look like a pleasant person to like sit down.
You're right, and no one else sees through it. That's what I don't get. People are like, "Oh, we love her, we love her." I'm one to talk. My mom had never heard one of her songs ever, and so for Christmas, I got her a Taylor Swift album.
Oh,
just so she could hear Taylor Swift.
Because
she was, she listened to like 2 songs and then didn't keep playing it.
Right.
But like the whole point is that I buy into this shit too. But like you're right, when you look at her, she looks like an unpleasant satanic whore. And so, I don't even know. But Pony, referring to Jimmy Kimmel, says he sounds guilty. I think you're right. You start talking about lawyers, it sounds like a guilty man.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Is it MMA fighter? Go for it. Joy Coy is funny. I guess I got to watch the replay to see what that's all.
It's not just that one joke. All night long, he was not doing good. It's his delivery. I think the jokes were fine. I don't know if he was nervous or what, but he was not. He didn't seem like a professional comedian.
The Golden Globes suck, man, and you could be the funniest guy on earth, but imagine trying to be funny in front of those people, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just suck up all the energy in the room, just sitting there being more important than they are. I don't even know why they try to do this, man. Why isn't the Golden Globes exactly what they wanted to be? High art, thespian, aficionado appreciation. Just get the dry Academy president up there to present. Like, why are you trying to make people laugh? No one watches this shit to laugh, man.
Right? Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Because like, trust me, and I love Oppenheimer. It cleared the board. It was kicking ass last night. I do think it was the best picture of the year. But like I'm saying, that's a stuffy film. There's nothing funny about Oppenheimer. Right?
Yeah,
so like
I gotta tell a joke after that, bro.
They should really have people reciting morbid poetry or something.
Yeah, just snapping their fingers.
Shani says her face made that whole thing hilarious. It really did. That was the funny part, making fun of Taylor Swift.
You know who else can't take a joke? Beyonce. Can't you just see Beyonce just having a poor reaction to a joke?
You think she's not down to earth? She can't relax.
I don't. Not that she's not down to earth. I just she doesn't strike me as like a haha at her expense type of person. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm too powerful for you to be laughing.
It's these powerful people, man.
Yeah,
and I'm just saying.
I don't think Jay-Z would walk up on stage and smack anyone, but she would definitely dead your career.
I just feel like why are all these horrible people rich and famous? Why can't God just bless me with some cash? I'd be such a benevolent and loving and funny famous person.
I think it's because you refer to yourself as benevolent. Like you're already a step away from like trying to get yourself on almost deity-like standards.
Do you don't think it takes a level of benevolence to have a role like that? Because what it is you have literally people who worship you, which is crazy that people do that. I'm not sure if I worship any celebrity like that. Mm-hmm. They are just men and women or whatever, but people do worship them, and so they have to be kind to the people who are in their grasp.
Listen to me. If I ever reach to that level of fame, right, it's not even about me being benevolent, right? I will do my best not to fall into the traps that other famous people have done before, right? You stop me for an autograph, I'm going to sign as many autographs as I can within that moment, right? Paparazzi follow me around, I'm not putting my hands on nobody. I ain't getting sued by nobody. In fact, people will literally be completely bored with my celebrity life because I don't want to be that person that's on hard.
Here's what I'm saying. You were talking about what if scenarios that you haven't even fathomed yet.
Oh no, I fathomed.
Here's what I'm saying. Let's say you're having a rough day with your wife, and I'm not saying anything about anyone's particular marriage. We all know what it's like to be in a relationship. They catch you on that wrong day, and then suddenly you're in the middle of an argument with your wife, and you turn around, and a paparazzi is right in your face taking pictures. You don't think that you might
listen to me?
Get a little crazy with him?
How many millions does it take for you to go, I don't want to lose this? Right? I could be $500,000 richer. And if you told me all you have to do to gain another $500,000 is not do anything crazy,
not beat up the paparazzi who's taking pictures of you having a fight with your wife.
Exactly.
Like, do you see what these guys do? They stalk them. Like you heard about Prince Harry. He successfully sued a bunch of newspapers in England because they were stalking the shit out of him and Meghan.
Well, I mean,
they crossed like serious lines, stalking, like they had his phone tapped and everything.
And it's about time those people are held accountable for that weird ass shit, man, because it's like, why are you doing this? Why? Who cares that much to know what's on that guy's phone? You know what I'm saying?
Like, I don't really care about any. Here's what it is. I know everyone's like, "But Mantis, you talk about gossip and you laugh and make jokes." I do, and that's fun. I don't know if I'd ever put any real energy into stalking or following a famous person.
It seems like someone that has way too much time. Now there are people with mental deficiencies and lack of moral scruples and all that stuff, man. But like, here's the thing, right? So even as we're joking and talking about the Epstein Island situation, right, in the list, the fact that Jimmy Kimmel, a late night host, got so worked up about it is the wrong public play. I'm just telling you.
Yes,
it's the wrong
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Now, here's what I'm saying. We're going to do a hypothetical, and this sounds horrible, the hypothetical, where I'm going. You can sense where I'm going. Let's say I was one of Epstein's boys, right? There is no way you would ever catch me publicly ever even mentioning that place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If an accusation went my way, I'd just be like, I'd just shrug and walk away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why is this guy is a fool to have such a reaction?
And you know why? It's because more moral platitudes, right? Trying to be holier than thou. And again, of course, maybe I would be a tad bit upset if someone accused me of being a part of the greatest rape island to ever exist. That's the real motherfucking Skull Island, right? Except for it's not King Kong running around that motherfucker.
Okay, so let's go back to our. You would never lay hands on a paparazzi. Okay, so let's say a paparazzi was just like, we believe Steve was one of Epstein's best friends or some shit. Would you flip out?
Would I publicly flip out? No, I would pay people to remind me, hey, remember when your first deal was don't flip out and you got another 500,000? Well, now we're in the millions, right? Now, would I sue? It depends on who the person is, right? If it's Aaron Rodgers and I've been taking shots at him for years, I'd be like, good on you. That was a good one. And then we'll ratchet it up a little bit, right? Because you can't, if I'm on the other side of that joke, you can't do anything, right? You can't do anything because I'm just waiting. But no, I'm not giving away my money. I'm giving my money.
He says exactly, Steve. I don't know when. I don't know when's the last time he made me laugh. Oh, she was talking about
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. I wish I didn't share a birthday with Taylor Swift, says Pony. Oh, Pony's a Swiftie. That's the Devil's Day, Pony. Yeah, that is the Devil's Day. She's a 14-year-old in a 34-year-old body. That is true. That is odd that Taylor Swift sings songs for 14-year-olds, dresses like she's 14.
I have a whole theory about that, and I don't want to get us deplatformed.
We've got all these theories.
Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you find yourself sexually attracted to Ariana Grande, you might have to ask yourself a deeper question. Taylor Swift is most certainly a woman who still dresses like a 12-year-old, like a $1,000 dress. It's weird, bro. Weird.
And so, what do you say about Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelce, that's just to gain back some. I'm gonna go real black conspiracy on you. That's just trying to gain back some white favor, right there. We all know the women. He's really
yes. No, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I'm telling you, that relationship was made in an office by their managers.
Yeah, they're like, you'll never get on Wheaties doing the shit you're doing.
You're pissing off all your white fans. Get back on thing. You're from Kansas City, my man. You know what I'm saying? You're not on a coastal city. You're in the middle of this the country. You need your white fans back. And then Taylor Swift was trying to clean up after her last boyfriend, who I think is her true love of her life, Matt Healy. And so Matt Healy's the front man for the 1975, that rock band,
right,
and he's a notorious fucking asshole.
Okay.
Like he tells people to go fuck themselves. He makes misogynist jokes in public. He's
John Mayer times 10.
Yeah, exactly. And so she dated him, and she was super in love. She used to go to all of his concerts and be like, and she used to whisper, "I love you," and all this stuff, and all these things. And then her fans were so pissed, she broke up with him. And the theory is she broke up with him because her fans didn't like him. That's how fake a person she is.
It's all about the business move, man. At least Mariah Carey's marrying like her backup dancers and shit like that. Giving a poem
and look at Britney Spears. Britney Spears ain't never married a man worthy of shit. She's married like 3 times, and every one of them are piece of shit lowlives, right? So,
hashtag free Britney. Now
she met this motherfucker at an off-track betting site.
I met him at the OTB.
Yeah. Remember them shits? Are they still around?
I think they closed all those down, man.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to see them around the city, and I used to think, I was like, they're the shadiest fucking places. Hobos hanging out in front of it.
Yeah, the mob hangout spots, man. Yeah, but Jimmy Kimmel suing is kind of it's lame, man. It's absolutely lame.
Shady says that she doesn't know how to keep a jacket or sweater on her shoulders like a 5-year-old. Drives me crazy. Okay, off the soapbox. You were pretty good, Shani. You could have gone. He said, Pony says, pop off, Shani. Jaylee Lopez, welcome to the stream. How's the sober life living? Well, in the beginning, you missed it. We were talking about what a horrible scene it is. This is really terrible. I don't know how you people do it. Oh my God, I'm only 8 days in.
You can do it, man. You can make it to the end of the month. You can do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else do we have tonight, my friend, on the topics?
Let's see what I sent you over here in Discord, man. So we got Jonathan Majors on the apology tour. Not really apology tour, but talking about being railroaded. And then we have Stellar Blade.
Yo, let's do. I was gonna say Jonathan Majors.
Okay, you want to get sad? Let's get sad.
Yeah. Oh, you think you're gonna get sad?
Man, his face makes me sad right now. Just looking at it, man. But
No, here's what I'm saying. I think he's the ultimate narcissist, man. Jonathan Majors, because here's what I'm saying. Most people with any sense would take some time off of public appearances after what happened. My man immediately goes to the press and he's like, I want to tell my story. You can tell a little bit of this is obviously vengeance. He obviously feels extremely slighted.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, I need to tell my side. I dig it, but he does need to, it's too soon to tell your side. He should realize that people don't want to hear his side of the story right now.
Yeah, we want to hear your side on the Lifetime version, right? You know what I'm saying? The rise and fall.
Yes, give it a little time. Maybe we might see it in his perspective, right?
Right.
But it's our man Tyrone Magnus, and you know what I love? It's like Tyrone Magnus and Adam 22 and all these people are really our correspondents.
Yeah,
they work for us.
We're reacting to a video that Tyrone Magnus is reacting to. Shout out to him and Scarlo, man. I love their content.
Oh, he's the man.
Mr. Majors.
So this morning, Jonathan Majors spoke with Good Morning America, and he spoke up for the very first time, not only since he was found guilty of assaulting his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari, but also really for the first time since he was arrested. Him and his law team, since he was arrested, have stated over and over again that he was innocent and that he was actually the victim in the situation that happened. Jonathan Majors was arrested in March of 2023. Then he was charged with 4 cases of assault against his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. Then in December, he was found guilty of reckless assault in the 3rd degree and guilty of harassment. Now in an exclusive interview on Good Morning America, which is actually owned by Disney.
Which is weird, right? That's okay, that's a conspiracy theory on its own. So Disney owns ABC, which is Good Morning America, right? So they allowed this? Look at his face. Actually, look at Tyrone Magnus's face.
Bro, look at the woman's face, man. Like, could you ask for a less forgiving interview? Right?
That's another thing, man. You like, if you do it too soon, people will not have sympathy for you, and they will just look at you like an asshole. They'll ask questions like you're an asshole.
Right.
I don't know what this man was thinking.
Well, wait, could there be a chance that Jonathan Majors really was railroaded here, man? It wasn't too long ago that you had even right-leaning YouTubers coming to his defense and saying that this entire thing had either been blown out of proportion or had been inaccurately reported and had been inaccurately, falsely tried, right? But now, after one interview, everyone's turned on him, and it's because he didn't bow out gracefully. Could he be innocent? Wouldn't an innocent man speak up for himself like this? Like, no, Dad. Public perception be damned. I lost everything. I got to speak my truth.
Here's the thing. I'm willing to believe that he is innocent. I've always been on that. on the. Honestly, if I was a juror, unless they saw shit that I somehow didn't make the news, because remember, every piece of evidence from that case has somehow hit the news at some point. I would have absolutely acquitted him, because there is reasonable doubt about what happened in that vehicle.
Right.
And there is no medical report saying this woman is jacked up. This motherfucker just fought Creed. Did you see how jacked he was for that movie?
Right.
There is no way that little girlfriend of his is going to survive this if he's really choking her out and slamming her head against the car door.
So, and here's the craziest, wildest part about it, man. So many people needed for him to be guilty to justify the stances they had taken, right? And a certain YouTuber was completely leading the charge, and maybe she should have been, saying that every bit of information that had come out was inaccurate, that people were leaning into heavy to internet conspiracies about what was going on in the trial. I most certainly thought there was enough for reasonable doubt. Now, the question is, would Disney have kept him if he had only been acquitted and not found innocent?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why they waited for the day to fire him. It really came down to what it is. And like, I don't understand how they were able to convict him.
Yeah.
Because there's, remember, just all you need is reasonable doubt. I don't know if JR's in here, but she says, well, I have no choice to be sober. I got 4 more months till the baby is here.
Hey,
Congratulations,
baby,
JR.
Congratulations.
Also, if you notice, JR's last name is not with an R right now. It's with an L because she just got married.
Hey,
so she is now a Lopez. And, so congratulations on that, JR. D says, I would defend my name till the bitter end. There we go. Rebeck says, you got this, man. Just thank you for the support. Okay, let's see what's going on.
Entire situation, and is asked yet again if he did assault his ex-girlfriend, in which he continuously denies. So let's dive right into this interview and break it down. Keep in mind we can only show some clips due to copyright reasons, but we'll link the whole interview in the pinned comment down below. And they did state that there is an extended version of this interview coming out tonight at 7 p.m. If there is a lot more information than that, we'll do a breakdown of that as well. And these are 2 separate videos that Good Morning America released this morning, consisting of the same interview they just broke.
Look at her face, bro.
And we'll cover both in this video. In this
She
video,
hates this man.
Majors states that he did not physically abuse his ex-girlfriend, that he is going to appeal the court's decision in hopes that it could be turned around and he could be found not guilty. And he states that he does not think that his Hollywood career as an actor is over. The interview is conducted by Lindsay Davis, and she starts off by stating that Jonathan Majors is adamant that there was absolutely no physical abuse in the relationship with him and his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabbari.
He calls the 2-year relationship with Grace Jabbari toxic, dangerous, and unhealthy, but he is adamant. He says there was absolutely no physical abuse.
They then state that he could still face up to a year in prison, and the interviewer asks, why now? Why speak up now? Which Jonathan Majors said this.
Why did you decide you wanted to talk now?
I felt like it was time. A lot has happened in my personal life, in my career, in the culture. It's about responsibility and coming forward and being brave and giving my part of the story.
She then asks about his reaction to the verdict, in which he said he was absolutely shocked.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shocked. I was absolutely shocked, and afraid. And I'm standing there, and the verdict comes down. I say, how
I mean, obviously he should be scared because, like, when you're an actor, your rep is like all you have.
Right.
And so I'm sure he knew as soon as he heard that verdict, he was like, I'm fired too.
Yeah.
And so you know about Magazine Dreams?
No, go for it.
So he made a movie that was supposed to come out already, and they stopped. They didn't put it out, where he plays a bodybuilding, steroid abusing guy. And it's like an art house film. It was supposed to win him awards and all these things, and they won't release it now.
Oh.
And so that's owned, that the company that has it is owned by Disney as well.
Oh,
And stuff like that. But it's like one of these smaller companies.
Right,
so that was supposed to launch him as like a true artiste.
Right.
So that movie is completely finished, and it's just sitting in a vault somewhere.
You know what's crazy about that, man? And again, so I don't want to juxtapose these situations because I see a lot of people doing it. It's just not accurate. So the conversational point around like, well, Johnny Depp lost his first case. No, in fact, he didn't lose a criminal case. It was a defamation case against some trades in the UK, and even more idiotic people think that Amber Heard was somehow not found guilty in the UK. I'm like, no, she was just a witness they brought on stand in regards to this whole thing because it was all centered around her. But it's not the same as the Majors thing, man. Like, he can face up to a year in prison. Obviously, you know, these are misdemeanor charges, but it'd be interesting to see if the judge would push it that far. But there's something about the cadence of his voice, and I'm not caping or coping right now. I'm just listening to the dude. And you remember the first time you heard R. Kelly when he was on with what's her face, and you just like, this motherfucker.
Oprah's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Whatever her name is, I forget her name, but yeah,
was it Robin again? One of them. But you know, you just knew. You just knew. Listening to him right now, man, it really does, and it could just be the thespian that he is. It sounds like a man that's like, man, I lost everything, right? And isn't this what the red pill is built on? Because those motherfuckers are loud as hell right now. I hadn't heard shit from the red pill in a hot minute, man. Right. And all of a sudden, like a rumble, a phoenix rose out of the ground. And I seen all these pictures of Jonathan Majors with a pill next to his face saying, men, it can happen to you too. Make sure you take my dating course so you learn how not to let it happen.
Now, not to shit on podcasters, because at the end of the day, we're just glorified podcasters. But ultimately, right. I hope he doesn't end up just being one of the celebrities who has to like have a podcast to survive. Like, I want him to get an acting career. For starters, I love the dude. You know, in Lovecraft Country, he was amazing. You know, whatever. Quantumania, he wasn't the problem with Quantumania.
No,
right?
He most certainly wasn't.
And he was excellent in Loki, so I think that he should have a career, and I think it's horrible that he's losing his career. Now, here's the thing: I do understand why people want to pump the brakes on him,
right,
for a short time. You know, we don't need to have you star in something right now, but you know, maybe down the line. You know what I mean?
Well, Bex says outright that he is guilty. Like Bex believes that this man is guilty. Bex, I don't think, have you ever unpacked for me? I always felt like you kind of had an issue with Jonathan Majors prior to this thing, or am I off in that? You have a thing against Jonathan Majors? I'm not putting you on trial for his trial, but a lot of women are just straight, and a lot of guys too, is just saying straight up that the jury got this one right. He's clearly guilty based off of the video evidence. Then they do not take into any consideration that maybe she could have been verbally or physically abusive allegedly towards him. There's some people who are just like, this man is guilty.
D says, why he talk like that? He sounds guilty. Laugh out loud. Rebek says he sounds defeated. Shani says, unfortunately, most jurors were probably already biased. They're tired of celebs walking free and unscathed. That is very true. They're sick of the havoc these people cause. And it sucks because, like, this guy isn't known for havoc. This is, like, the one case that's been against him. She says because he is, and she admits, she has no dealings with this dude. Nothing against him at all. Yeah, right. No, here's what I'm saying. You know what? Here's what I'm saying. Here's what a lot of people in this chat or just in the world in general have a problem with him. And we all know what. Here's what it is. I'm going to say. I'm going to play the victim card.
Oh boy.
It's because he's a man.
It's not because he was with a white woman and he finally got his N-word breakup moment.
Sure as hell didn't help him. But I'm just saying, when you're a man and you're accused of such things, all it takes is the accusation.
Right.
And there are some ways you can never clear your name.
So that's 100% true. Do you think he got his N-word wake-up moment? Was this an N-word wake-up moment for Jonathan Majors? And do you believe in that term? Do you?
Of course I do. I think everyone has had it. Who was the most jarring one recently?
Well, Charlamagne the Guy got his N-word wake-up moment for challenging Larry Elders.
Yes,
on the Breakfast Club.
I would also say Will Smith had his recently. At the end of the day, yeah, no matter how much money you are, and Kanye definitely. No matter how much money you have, you can't buy your way out of being black. You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing is, remember, here's the whole thing about Jonathan Majors. It's not like he's Kanye or Will Smith. He hasn't flown nearly as high as these guys.
Right.
And his wings are already clipped.
Clipped him early, man.
Guilty until proven innocent, says Shani. Absolutely.
How is that possible? Based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence. How is that possible?
Good Morning America then goes over the events that really took place the night before he was arrested, stating that he got a text from another woman that said, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you," in which his girlfriend at the time, Grace Jabari, grabbed his phone, where she claimed he physically tried to get it back from her, fracturing her finger and hurting her behind the right ear. The interviewer says she says that you did all of these things to her to physically abuse her, and Jonathan Major straight up says that never happened.
She says inside the car, you hit her in the face,
Yeah.
twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah, that did not happen.
How did those injuries come about?
Ooh, Beck says that's on him. He fumbled. Poor choices eliminate chances. Bex, that's what I've been trying to tell these broke bitches with 5 kids.
Oh, there we have it, folks. The ultimate red pill argument. Why do we as men have to be immaculate and perfect and never have charges against us? And yet it's all right for a woman to have a hoe phase that lasts 15 to 20 years and have 6 kids. And why do I need to raise them?
What happens next is what Nichols remains focused on.
That is a good point, Steve. Very good point.
If you watch those videos,
Oh, man.
and you saw a black man.
She says, is Megan Good the other woman? I don't know.
I don't know, man, but he gives Megan Good a huge shout out for staying with him and sticking with him. I was sure she was going to dump him right after this too, but
Jonathan Majors actually had
I don't know.
himself
Definitely a
from Grace Jabari.
possibility.
How were you injured?
My injuries were a scratch on my hand, from clogging for the phone, and I had a gash on my. At the time, I had a beard. Under my beard, I had essentially a fingernail scratch on my cheek from pressure, and that bled over.
They then go on to talk about how the prosecution stated Jonathan Majors
Or just
to be
Captain Save a
both
Pro.
physical and emotional and mental as well,
whatever.
bringing up previous times in the relationship where Jonathan Majors showed these signs.
she has a thing. No, she is the lost cause. Remember,
Remember,
she the pastor divorced her. She's the lost
I
cause.
completely lost my temper in the moment and threw it all on the ground. He said, "I absolutely did that. It's not something that I would want my child to do, and I feel absolutely terrible about it." They also then talk about the audio that was recorded by Grace Jabari of Jonathan Majors speaking to her, telling her that she needed to be like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama, in which Jonathan Majors
Yeah, know
finally
your role.
addressed what this was all about. Here's what he said.
It was me trying to give an analogy of what it is
Even he
about
laughs.
God.
Even he realizes that's funny.
These great men, Martin, President Obama, and trying to give a reference point to that. One of the things I also say is like, I need her, in that case, Grace, to make the same sacrifices that I am making.
And then in the final question of the first clip, Lindsay asked him, "Do you feel that you are not responsible for any of Grace Jabari's injuries at all?" And his response is very interesting because in his response, he does admit that he stepped out on the relationship. He was seeing another woman. And if he had the courage to end his relationship with Grace Jabari, then he wouldn't have been in this situation
That's right.
at all.
Boom.
Do you feel you're not responsible for her injuries at all?
I shouldn't have been in the car. I shouldn't have stepped out of the relationship. I shouldn't have been in the relationship.
That was a
None
very
of the
well
car.
prepared statement.
Yeah.
None of this is happening. If I leave the relationship, none of this is happening. If I'm man enough or brave enough to say, I want to see somebody else, or I'm done now, I'm not in that car.
That's right.
We're not here. I'm responsible
Message,
for that.
right? Am I right? Message.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yo, can I tell you a funny story, man,
Then Lindsay
about a
states that
very
his sim-
stupid show in one of its participants? You know that show, what is it? Fucking, it's like the new Punk'd, but people sending videos of them doing gags and shit like that on MTV, and they're like getting hurt.
Oh, I don't know. What is it called?
Oh fuck! It was a guy who was on that show with a big black man. Anyway, there's a dude on here. I'll look it up. Entertain the people for a second.
But
Rob.
I gotta say, with him talking about comparing his woman, saying you need to be like Michelle Obama or Coretta Scott King, I admit that is weird. That's totally weird. However, I would argue that's him and his relationship. Maybe he has high standards for his women. I would never come at a woman and be like, "Why aren't you like the first lady?" That's totally insane, right? However, that does not mean he's an abuser. And I think it's funny that people take that weirdism and accuse him of being either like, look, he must be a hitter. He's telling his girlfriend she has to be perfect like these women. And I'm like, well, maybe he has a high standard for his women.
But here's the thing, man. I really agree with what he said, man. If he would have just ended the relationship, imagine him with a better place. And the show is called Ridiculousness with Rob Dyrdek. So there's a dude on that show, man, black guy. He's the one that controls the little turn boards and shit like that. His name's Stilo Brim. Allegedly, there is a story about him being in the car with a girl who tried to pull some "you're coming against me, against my will." Do you know what that man did to make sure he maintained his monicum of fame, the most money he's been seeing in his career? He jumped out of a moving fucking vehicle. And I would like to think I have the same wherewithal. Like, that's how prepared.
You know what's crazy? I tried to jump out of a car once on a girl. Yeah. I think we've all had them where we should have jumped out the car. But he's right. He should have never been in the car in the first place.
Bro.
Like he's saying, he should have left her. He should have broken up with Grace a while ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's here it is right here. Stilo says Mary refused to let him out of the car and threatened to tell people he had raped her if he got out. Stilo says he weighed his options and decided to leap from the moving car. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Ridiculousness. Rebex already knew what it was.
Would you not jump out the moving car to avoid grape charges?
I mean, obviously, you know,
off the bridge. I'm like, accuse me of what? No, bro, I'm Kane the Conqueror. Like, I'm not going out sad like this, man.
So what do you think about it in terms of Marvel stuff?
Right.
What do you think? Do you really think they're going to recast him?
It's looking like the brother, the studious brother from what is this?
Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah. It looks like he might take it over. And if they do recast, I wouldn't be that mad at it, man. But there has to be a new direction entirely for Kang. And again, we've said this ad nauseum, man. Kang should have just been a sub-villain and not the main focus for Secret Wars.
They already have a way out. They should take the way out and just do a different villain.
Yeah. And
it's not like Avengers don't have villains to you.
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing, man. The MCU is so committed to the wrong thing, right? They so desperately want to get away from the formula that worked for them, which was, man, there was a level of quality and story direction. There's nothing about the multiverse saga with all of the IPs that have come out, with all of the content that links it all together, man. And they did have the perfect way out. In fact, there's so many people I could think of that would have made a better big bad for this fucking arc. It could have been Wanda. It could have been Superior Strange, right? It could be Doctor Doom. They could introduce the Molecule Man. They could have introduced Sentry. They've had so many opportunities to do anything other than what they've done now. And this lends itself to the story that we're about to talk about with Star Wars, right? They quickly disassociate themselves from Jonathan Majors, but they will not, for the love of God, disassociate themselves from storytelling and narratives or what have you, whatever you want to say, that is clearly impacting the business. Right?
Because you're right. You know what it is? It's because you're right. The bad storytelling and the idiotic things they have set up is hurting their brand way worse than Jonathan Majors could.
Right. 100%.
And somehow they see him a problem, but they don't believe this bad writing or this idiotic situation is doing it to them. And we all know that it is.
100%.
Oh, listen, man, well said.
In regards to Mr. Majors here, man, what happens, Mantis, in your mind? What if he wins the appeal? Right. What if he goes back in there and they absolutely demolish it this time?
I do not believe he'll get his job at Marvel back.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Unless it has to be a massacre like the actual Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. Right. That was such a one-sided ass whooping. that even the cologne companies were like, "Hey, what's up, man? you want to do?"
Well,
it
I'm
first?"
saying I will believe Johnny's back when he actually is back, because people keep saying that there's like whispers of him doing all these projects. I haven't seen it yet.
Didn't he get paid out on the back end because of this whole thing?
He did. He got a payday out of it. That's good. But still,
I would say that's a straight up victory. Like, he was doing so well during that entire thing that people had time to make love rumors about him and his lawyer. That's how much they were winning in that
Right.
situation, bro. So, it's clear that Jonathan Majors needs to hire that one.
so did you hear the rumor about King Thanos?
Like, Thanos wins, King Thanos? No, I didn't.
Supposedly, writers' rooms have been talking about bringing back Thanos to reinvigorate the MCU, because they got nothing.
Bro, they've shit on Thanos so much in the What If series alone, right? They've completely turned him from a
Do
villain.
not get me started on that Ultron thing.
Yeah.
Where he comes, he teleports down with the Infinity Gauntlet on his fucking hand, and Vision just goes bzz, and cuts him in two. That would never happen in any fucking universe ever.
Well, they got the Mind Stone completely wrong, right? Did you notice that the Mind Stone represented no parts of the name that it was given? Right, Vision it should not have had it.
Right. No, obviously they messed up all the gems. They messed up all the things for the gems.
Let's jump into this Japanese game, because I'm really wanting to see, because I know you know nothing about this. Just play the video and then we'll get into the deeper context. Jonathan Majors should have jumped from the car. And let this be a lesson to young men. You think she's gonna accuse you of something? Jump out the fucking car, bro. I'm guaranteeing that the rug burn or the road burn you get is gonna be way less painful.
So
than
jump out the car. You're Steve's advice, Uncle Steve's advice. So
jump
here we
out
have
of the moving car.
the lovely, amazing Vera Dark, another one of our correspondents. I love her. When I'm into her content, so her content is very heavy anime and very heavy video game.
Your games, yeah. Did I send you a video or yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I got the video. Here it goes.
2021, when Project Eve, now known as Stellar Blade, was initially announced, there was so much outrage on social media from people saying that this female character had unrealistic body proportions. And hilariously enough, now the developers have come out proving that their protagonist Eve is based on a real woman, a 3D scan of a Korean model, and all of the virtue signaling those people did has epically backfired. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. So all of
He
this
says
started back,
this is not
like I
limited to
mentioned,
men.
in
I also want to jump out of the car.
when Reset
Didn't try,
Era
just
had
wanted to really bad.
despised Project Eve's main sexy heroine, and not only did Reset
sexy
Era
back.
despise this female character, but there was also this Game Foundry clip that had went viral. I'm not going to play all of it, but I do want to show a very small portion and show you what their criticisms were.
I know you were talking about the character from a bygone era. I do think the character model was actually like very distracting.
Oh, the character model was very distracting.
Okay, this is how beta. This is, oh my god, this is how fucking beta the world has gotten, right? And so this guy admits that he was titillated. He's like, it was very distracting, and that was disconcerting to him because he believes that video game chicks are supposed to be so ugly that he shouldn't be titillated. This is a troubling feeling of arousal for him.
I was just drinking my chai latte, and then all of a sudden my sweatpants started to shrink.
I didn't give them my consent to be aroused. And so I've never seen, this is the first time I've actually seen a male defend this crazy ugly chicks in video games thing that's going on. By the way, I don't know if I told you, now that I'm back into this, like getting into Steam and stuff, I will only download a game if I know mods to make the girls pretty. You know, like Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever, and then also Spider-Man 2. There's mods to make Mary Jane pretty.
Yeah, there you go. So you are the casting couch guy. Maybe it's you with the olives.
Well, have you seen? Well, obviously, you've seen the Mary Jane. You've seen Mary Jane. Mary Jane is pretty ugly.
Would that movie Divergence? I remember that sent you on a social media tear. You're like, this broad was too ugly to play Mary Jane. She's too ugly for her own franchise.
Yes. Oh my God, Shailene Woodley or whatever, right? She's, and I wouldn't even say she's a plain Jane. And look, I'm sorry. I know a lot of you think that I'm a pig because I'm calling a girl out for being ugly, right? I don't often do it, but when I do it, it has to be done. And so for Divergence, the Divergent series, and I think it's Shailene Woodley or whatever. I know the girl eats mud, which explains why she looks so deformed. But so she ends up being cast as Mary Jane in Amazing Spider-Man 2. So that was several years back. And I remember I flipped out on that. Yeah, she was not pretty enough to be Mary Jane. The chick in the new video game busted. She's not even a real person.
The actress who actually plays
the actress is hot, but they uglied her up for the video game.
Let's see what got this guy so titillated, man.
Yeah, let's see what this idiot has to say.
It all off. They even go on to say that Frey from Forspoken is a better looking character, which is just a pure and utter lie.
Well
they
said,
even
Bex.
said that it made them uncomfortable, and this is something that Reset Era actually echoed a sentiment. They echoed saying that, it was it's just an unfortunate character design, that had been aghast at the male gaze present in the latest trailer. And I personally love the look of this game because I wasn't just looking at the character model. Okay, I was also looking at the gameplay that we got.
The gameplay
and they
sick.
basically said that, this is just
That's
not
what I
a very
saw.
modern character design, pushing that idea of a modern audience when it actually does not exist. Okay, the closest audience we have to a modern audience are sensitive snowflakes, but they were basically saying that this, sexy character only existed
look at what
to
D has to
be
say.
nice on the eyes for
I agree.
men.
It's pretty normal.
But of course, they didn't really take into consideration that sex appeal is also about art, okay? How do we live currently with this idea that, looking at this beautiful or appealing woman, I automatically want to have sex with her? Like, it's such a ridiculous notion. And that's not how human beings are, but that's how...
Well, okay, Vera, you're just
view
being
it.
naive
Like,
at this point.
Everybody who likes her is
but
just
I'm saying
silly. But
it's-
now, all of this virtue signaling they did...
I'm saying it's all right to be titillated while playing a video game.
Shift Up World,
okay
the
to be
developers
attracted
are now
people.
coming out saying
Just don't
in
put your hands
Stellar
on them.
Blade, our protagonist Eve's body figure was actually based on a 3D scan of this Korean model. Absolutely stunning woman, okay? Beautiful, beautiful woman who, yes, does look extremely similar to the character. And I think that this is
I mean,
hilarious.
her hips aren't as
Because
pronounced,
it
but yeah.
just shows that these people who complained years and years ago and who are inevitably going to complain about the game again, it just shows that they don't understand that real women exist that are beautiful, right? It's like the conversation about Tomb Raider and about how Phoebe Waller-Bridge is helming the Amazon live-action Tomb Raider series, and she basically said that there's a
Why
big
did you have to
debate
reveal
going
that
on
to me?
behind the
Now I'm
scenes because
annoyed.
Should they cast someone with a larger chest? But that's
Phoebe
kind of
Waller-Bridge, who
unrealistic
destroyed
because Tomb
Indiana
Raiders
Jones
have
and
to
destroyed
squeeze
Han
into
Solo.
Tiny little crevices and
My
spaces, and
goodness.
if you have big boobs, they're going to get in the way. So that's basically giving the middle finger to women with larger chest, saying you can't be a Tomb Raider.
Right. No, I feel you on that. But
Discrimination.
like, and here's what I'm saying. I understand. I love that this gotcha moment that she's based off of a real model. That's fine. Obviously the body standards, and it's not just for women, it's for men too, in video games or superhero content, are like not usually achievable. They're actually very high. But remember, this is a fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, do you think I want to read a Batman comic book where Batman is fat?
We're supposed to believe that these are people at their highest peak physical forms, right?
Right. If they're doing
That's-
flips all day long, right? They're doing
Yeah,
flips, they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. They're gonna be super fit, right?
And it's just, and that's the thing, man. I'm not sure if it's happened. I can't prove that it hasn't. but I've never heard a guy complain about the body shapes of the guys in Street Fighter. No one fucking looks like
yeah,
Akuma.
no one ever.
No
Yeah,
one looks like Ryu, man. No.
like look at Ryu. He's so jacked. No one is that physical fit, right?
Actually, when I played the character as a kid, I'm just like, oh shit, son, I'm the baddest dude in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't filled with all these feelings about the game, man. So I almost want you to play the trailer, because what's going to get lost in this entire situation is that this game looks like, I think it's a Souls-like game, which is its own genre now, which means it's kind of like Dark Souls, and it looks amazing. It's the next gen console experience that a lot of people have been waiting for with newer games and newer IPs. But here we are, marred in this stupid ass conversation about whether or not the character is proportionate enough. And I do not understand why they can't see the obvious hypocrisy. So are you saying that female characters cannot be attractive in video games? Is that what this argument boils down to? Because remember, they're the same people who say that games do not produce violent feelings in people, right? This started on a left nerd conversation point, right? Or I'll just say a nerd. So now it's like you can't have an attractive woman in the game because it marginalizes women and it's making you feel a certain way and you're here for the fantasy. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Pick a lane and stay in it. Are you impacted by these games? Yes or no? And if you are, why isn't this same dude talking about Grand Theft Auto? Maybe he has said something. Why isn't he talking about the woman on top of the car twerking? Right? Why is he not talking about one of the most, you could argue, reprehensible games to ever been made as a mirror to the reprehensible culture that we live in? Where's it at? Where's the outrage for Grand Theft?
I mean, where's the outrage for all of it? I don't know where this is coming from, but like, I can't help but feel that this is a veiled way of oppressing women again. I love that the woke agenda has ultimately been used to hurt women more than anything. Now, we know one way it hurts women, and we don't have to bring that up because that's not what we're talking about today. But we've seen examples recently when something is so woke, they end up hurting women.
Yeah.
You know, in their competitions, their sports, in their whole things, in their safe spaces, right? They can't have any of those. And then, you know, in this example, to be more realistic, they they body shame women, but they never body shame men. And they think they're being progressive by shitting on someone who's fit, a woman who's fit, but they don't body shame a man that's fit.
Yeah, and their argument and their response to that would be, well, we want the entire body image situation to change in games, man. Or then the argument will go to somehow that this is all the result of the patriarchy and the male appetite and blah 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 blah. And guess what happens? The more you embrace these side conversations, right? And I'm not saying that some of the stuff is important. It lends itself to the fact that, look, the distributor of the game started virtual signaling, right? But it's like, this is a woman. It's based off a woman. It's based off of a real woman, not just some perv sitting in his little 3D render room, like, bigger, make him bigger, make him wider. We're not talking about Rob Liefeld.
D says fat man.
Yeah, man, come on.
Legend of the Dark Knight. The game looks great. Yeah, no, I agree as well. D says no, Bex. They were mad because they were saying her body proportions are unrealistic. Yeah, and then they found out it was real. They got sunned up. But it's crazy because her proportions are realistic. She has a pear-shaped body that plenty of women. Yeah, lots of women have that. And so,
but a lot of flat-chested, angry bitches don't have it. So that means you can't have it either.
Rebex, look at her comment right there. That's a stellar comment if I've seen one right there. Now, I was gonna play before we play the trailer, because we are gonna play the trailer for this. I was gonna play Mary Jane Fixed, which is a quick YouTube video.
Let's get it.
Just obviously in the same.
See, look at you, man. Just once you got into the role of the podcast, man.
Are you reminding me that I'm sober again? Are you doing that right now? I will cut you. So, I'm cool, guys. I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do. I'm not going to flip out or anything.
Oh, man. Imagine if you tried to do one of your 12-hour streams right now. That would be like, I guarantee by the second hour, Mantis would be up here like, I just don't understand why you people are all here bothering me.
Hello, beta testers. I won't mince words.
Okay, look.
The agenda.
Look at that.
Wow.
I mean, if that's really what the mod looks like, sign me up.
Bro, they even made Peter Parker weird, man.
Yeah, I hear a lot of humans just look weird in that franchise. I think, obviously I didn't play. The only one I played was the Miles one, and I think Miles looked great.
Oh yeah, he looks dope in this one too. The game itself, again, is fun. People have their critiques about it, but I enjoyed it.
So remember, according to the canon of Spider-Man, back in the day, Amazing Spider-Man, Mary Jane Watson was a beautiful actress who ends up becoming a soap opera actress, and she is coveted by men and world leaders and all these things. She's supposed to be a super hot woman.
And in this game, she's a lowly, not actress, homely.
So in the name of trying to make them look realistic, the left one is the version that they give us, and the right one is that mods have been giving us.
Yeah,
let's hear.
Is as blatantly apparent just looking at Mary Jane as it is hearing verbatim the intent for the younglings from Disney groomers. I think the pandering is pathetic. I think community managers blocking people highlighting a backlash that they're ignoring, unprofessional. I think calling people terrorist because of their critique, especially in the current climate, is where the hell are your meds, tier psycho. Obviously, I do not condone or encourage anyone reaching out to communicate or interact with these jobs.
What is that thing? Look, I think he might have been the model for Mary Jane.
Community manager is your title. Blocking people highlighting the backlash from hundreds of thousands of people on Mary Jane's appearance should fall well under the umbrella of what it is your job to do. TV, however you're watching, please, I'm asking you, take the time to like and comment on this video so that this community can get what it deserves to grow. I endeavor to showcase ways they silence you, to highlight how little you mean unless you're either a paid shill or are willing to be their token ethnic. Please consider this a part 2 to this video where I summarize the explosively vocal sentiment from fans. And if you were out there making your voices heard, I thank you as well for the constructive feedback that I witnessed without needing to provoke it.
My
I find
God,
the more the Middle East needs to tell me that it's fine, the more I know it's not fine. 2 months ago, during Blobfish Grand Mary Jane's first wave of repulsive backlash, mainstream games journalists were quick to tell people that it's fine and to calm down. Articles were made parroting the message of this entity with respect to the pronouns that I can't see too well because they blocked me, community manager, in their response to the backlash where they were forced, Larry Fink style, to tell people that it's the same model and the same actress. Excellent. Beta testers, now we know that since this woman, even with 10 years and maybe 40 extra pounds, would not look like this, we're aware that they deliberately just ESG stained, DEI smeared a ugly design on this woman. And if you've been paying attention, I take considerable issue with the erosion of art. I retweeted this man's backlash response, assuring people that it's the same person, and was promptly blocked. Okay. I don't appreciate this treatment as a supporter, but just like how Bungie hides the comments from Latinos while pandering to the Latinx, exactly like Insomniac does, I know that these groups are full of it being shit. Rocksteady of the upcoming Always Online Sushi Squad live service blocked me too for cobbling together what is effortlessly the most thorough documentation of community sentiment on people's issues, concerns, and criticisms surrounding the game, holding Kevin Conroy's last Batman performance hostage. But this person is entitled to block whomever they wish in whatever capacity they consider professional when something is, quote, too much. I happen to think 50 million views, only 7,000 likes, and 400 1,000 plus likes on quote retweets, tearing Mary Jane's uncanny ass
killing
to
people.
shreds is quote too much for no response.
What game is
But
this?
here we are. And what I'd like to call your attention to is how silent the
yeah.
publications are, specifically on
Oh, it's
this.
Apex,
The
I
same
think.
publications who hypocritically praise scantily clad men, but women.
Hold on, I'm gonna jump ahead. Oh, I think we got the picture.
Yeah, everyone knows what real deviants play. You know what real deviants play? Sims.
Oh yes.
Perverts and slackjaws.
Oh yeah, no, that is nuts. What is the name of the game we were talking about earlier?
Oh, jeez Louise. Give me 1 sec, brother. That would be Stellar Blade. And when you see the trailer for it, yeah, that's so wild, the difference. And I don't understand. What was the point of them making her look like that? I guess don't worry about it, right? Don't feel feelings. Don't like things. Don't be attracted to things.
I
That's
don't
the point.
freaking get it at all, man. Yeah, why ugly people up? I don't get it.
Because you're not mature enough and emotionally intelligent enough to understand that you shouldn't be attracted to anything. And
That-
where's
yo,
that
that-
Electra from?
Yeah, that dude being like, I was distracted. He's gonna call his mother because he's just like, oh man.
How can I go out on a date with an attractive woman?
This is the Spider-Man 2. Fuck that. Oh wait, where is it?
It's up on the screen. I can see it.
Why can't I see it?
Because you're old. You're a boomer.
The hell? I don't know. Well, I can't play it because I don't have a screen for it. Oh, here we go.
Good night, Shannon. Thanks for coming.
Shanny, thanks for coming by. It was great to see you again. Have a beautiful night.
그놈들은 무자비했고 인간들은 무력했어. 인류는 형편없이 무너져갔네.
자이오니아, 버려진 자들의 도시지. 전성기에는 10만 명 이상이 살았던 곳이야.
황무지 아래 건설한 도시라니. 여긴 무덤인 건가요?
아니, 이곳의 주민들은 에너지 고갈로 잠들어 있는 거야. 이대로 간다면 영원한 어둠뿐이지. 이봐, 우리를 도와줘.
조심해! 리스팅되지 않는 내 입구야. 아담아, 뒤로 물러나!
Oh, game's got good, man.
마더 스피드다.
Oh, looks like fun.
이 레거시는 믿을 수 없어요. 그렇죠? 그렇다고 말해줘요.
여기 있는 누구도 그 손길이 닿은 적은 없어. 모두 버려진 것.
그건 신상 모독이에요. 릴리, 부탁해. 난 이러기 위해 태어난 거야. 이렇게 된 이상 나도 몰라요.
고용이의 천사여, 이번에는 우리를 구원할 수 있겠는가?
Good, right?
Yeah, it does.
So instead of seeing all that great potential story and gameplay, it's like And it's not even like her boobs are bouncing around. They didn't go like Tekken on us, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, just fucking get over it.
You have Street Fighter 6, right?
Yes.
So I do not have it. However, I did see a clip the other day of it was Cammy versus Chun-Li. They were both in bikinis.
Right.
And they're doing grappling and tossing each other, and I'm like, I mean even that should not be complained about.
That was rough, though.
It's pretty rough. But like I'm saying is like, I mean, I don't understand. We're supposed to be. Are you not entertained? Because it certainly is entertaining, right?
Bro, it's a freaking video game, man. Like,
I know, that's why it's so weird that people
at a certain point, man, it's like it's even hard to continue on as a topic because it's like, what is next, bro? Like, what's next? I honestly think that's why remember that show Girls?
Yeah,
that's when they started doing this shit. They were like, what do you mean you don't want to have sex with her? You're a misogynist if you don't want to have sex with her.
Right, and then like she's like a slom or whatever.
I'm, like, I'm good, man.
She's all gross. She's all
There's
gross.
someone for everybody. She's just not for me. Like,
right.
I'm not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm not 10 up here, but you wanted to talk about Star Wars. You wanted to infuriate yourself for the very last topic in regards to.
I did, and so it is late. We're running late, but we'll get someone in. So I want to talk to you specifically because I think we started this conversation off camera.
Right.
And so this all had to do with, so basically before we got pissed at what which director they chose to do the Rey movie, right?
Right.
But now since then, all her past internet stuff has been coming up. Times she spoke at awards or festivals, and so she says comments like, "I enjoy making men uncomfortable."
Right.
And all these things, and you seemed okay with the whole situation.
No, so what I was making sure that I articulated, the reason I didn't jump on that was because given her resume and the type of documentary she's made, I was waiting to see if there was a deeper context, and it turns out that there was. She was talking about a premiere of a documentary about honor killing women who had been accosted by men in certain countries. So obviously I was like, all right, this has something to do with it, which is why I didn't jump on it, because I think, one, it would have been inaccurate for me to jump on it, and two, that's what those people on that side of that table want you to do. They want you to react to something without any context, and then so they can say, look at how unhinged these toxic nerds are. And it's just like, nah, man, I have issues with her as directing a beloved franchise and not knowing what she's going to contribute to it because of her resume. Now, if you tell me she was making a documentary about the Playboy Mansion and the abuses that went on there, I'd be like, that's probably something I want to go see. Not the direction or wherever she's going to take Star Wars.
So
right?
yeah, I want to make it clear that here's what it is. I don't love that statement that she said. However, I defend her right to say it and do it, and it's her thing. Right. I'm just saying, why hire somebody who has that attitude? It's cool she has that attitude, but can't she have her own corner of the world? Why do this to a Star Wars movie?
How is it relevant? How does it relate to a galaxy far, far away? And then even more idiotic shit coming out. If it turns out that Rey is pregnant with Kylo Ren's spiritual force baby, I'm getting up and walking out the movie theater.
I knew this was a possibility, and so that was the whole rumor for a while since Rise of Skywalker. Because like it is weird that when he force heals her, he touches her stomach. Like in that scene, he does that. He picks her up and he's like, and people were like, "I bet you she's pregnant with his force baby." And I was like, "Oh God, why?" And so, all I know is I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to go see this movie.
Bro, do you realize if she is pregnant with his force baby, the conversation of consent, there's the gateway.
Oh, there we go. That's another thing. So it is supposedly going to take place in the future, like 10 or 15 years after. So she would have already had the kid already. But
right.
I don't know. Well, I will see. But like, I'm going to once again use you all as guinea pigs. Particularly you, Steve. You're going to go and take your kids, because you can take your kids to everything.
Right.
And you're going to come back and you're going to tell me if it's any good, whether I should go to the movies or not. Because you know what the problem is? When the trailer comes out, remember, this is the thing I got to tell all my friends, and this is what I'm assuming Shaolin is asleep already. Love the dude. he was bedazzled by a trailer the other day of Echo.
Fight scene. I liked
Yeah, the
it.
fight scene. And here's what I'm saying. It's fine, but here my whole argument is they have entire teams of people who make trailers.
Yeah.
And their job is to titillate you to coming to see it. They're like, let's put in all the best scenes and all the things, and let's make it look like someone's gonna die when they're not, and all these things.
Right.
And so I don't fall for that shit. I don't fall for that shit. And here's the thing: like Star Wars is gonna try that shit again, because all it takes for a Star Wars movie, see some TIE fighters, see someone on a speeder bike, see an evil Sith Lord, see someone whip out a lightsaber, and then I'm like, I should go see that. But then again, and then when you go there, it's feminist messaging all over the place.
Yeah, and again, it's unfortunate, man. We were talking about in the last segment about Disney just not being able to read the obvious writing on the wall, but that's because there's so many counter narratives coming their way too. I assume where it's like, hey, this actually is a success, and we are making inroads in this conversation. Like, no one asked you for this conversation, and in fact, if you are going to do this, right, my standard has always been, yeah, okay, if you can make it good, I'll check it out. And they just have not delivered on that portion. They haven't.
Right. Like I said, if the day comes where you're my guinea pig and then you come back, you're like, yo, bro, it was awesome, I will be I'll happily go spend my money there. Right. It was the same thing with the Marvels. Everyone's like, oh, Roy, you hate Brie Larson. I do hate Brie Larson. I would still went to go see the Marvels because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And what it is I wanted the Marvels to be good because I would rather Marvel entertain me for the money I'm spending.
Right.
Then it live up to my worst fears.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think at the end of it, people don't realize that guys on our side of the table who aren't leaning so heavily into like, well, we agree with a lot of stuff that comes out of that right sphere of comic fandom and shit like that. But then they go too far. I want these properties to succeed because I enjoy watching this stuff, man. It's still a great time to have grown up being a comic lover and seeing all this stuff on screen. I don't want it to go away because they can't read the algorithm correctly, right? It's not superhero fatigue that people are suffering from. It's shit property that you released over and over and over again, man. And that's what it is, man. No one hates Rey because she's a female Jedi anymore. There was definitely a strong reaction to her and Finn when it first came out. And I was just like, oh, this is more racist than I'm used to.
Here's the thing, and I don't understand how you guys do it. I feel like, you know, I might be a good Christian little boy who just skips to the internet because like you and particularly RM are always find the most hateful people online, and I don't see it. So when I went to see Force Awakens, I knew there was some backlash to her. I didn't know half of it.
Bro, and I'm happy.
I was excited to see her, and I didn't know there was so much hatred for a female Jedi.
Well, what did you think when you finally found out?
I didn't believe it. When people would tell me that, I was like, it's not that bad. Come on. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. And I don't see, I guess I don't dwell in those dark areas of the internet.
You never came across any of the stuff that was like,
occasionally I would see one where people would make some comment where they want to grape her. They're like, this fucking blah, blah. I'm flipping out. I'm like,
whoa. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's not.
No, I don't. What part of the internet are you hanging out in? I'm talking about the strong reaction. This is back when like Facebook was like the primary source of like nerd content, you know, shit you see on YouTube, and it was an immediate reaction to Finn at first, right? But it wasn't that strong.
I saw that one. People were like black stormtrooper, which I don't even understand how you can object to his blackness of a stormtrooper.
And so that
doesn't make any sense.
There was shit like that. That's what I'm saying. We have to stop pretending like some of this stuff. I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but a lot of people want to pretend like there wasn't this visceral reaction to the characters. And historically, I remember that there was, but it just turned out that The Force Awakens actually was quite enjoyable. I had a good time when I went to go see that movie.
Force Awakens is great.
Very optimistic. One of the best first dates I ever went on, and the third one, I was just like, not even.
I mean, it's you know, it's that second one that ruined it all. But anyway, I could go on and on about this.
So,
but
Echo's coming on in a few hours, so you're not going to watch Echo.
So once again, guinea pigs, you guys go have fun. I'm not wasting my precious hours. But my money is on my Spidey sense is detecting that all signs read to garbage.
Right.
And I think they think it's garbage because they're releasing it all in one day.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
And so this is, as you know, I had a strong feeling about this actress.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the young Native American woman.
Well, yeah, but you remember what it was, what my statement was. It had nothing to do with her being Native American. You know, and just, you know what? I'll be clear. We have audience. We have people out there who just want to know. I also don't think that she is attractive enough to be the lead to carry a show.
No, I just threw out the Native American thing because that's what would have happened to you if you were on Good Morning America. You're like, I had strong reactions to.
And they're like, yes,
the
your
woman
issues
of
with Native
color
Americans. Because that's the shield. That's the armor that the wokies wear. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, she's a woman, cripple, Native American, ultimate.
And mute.
Right, but like, well, I put that in cripple, but but I'm just saying. So she's a mute, peg-legged Native American
Woman. Sis.
Yeah, that's the problem. If she was trans, then they would win the game, the Olympics. You'd go to the end screen. You'd go to the end screen of Oppression Olympics over there. And so I would also like to point out to people that at least when I was reading Echo in the comic books, I feel like maybe along the lines between now and then they made her Native American. I just remember her being Puerto Rican. You know, I remember being Puerto Rican, super ninja, a mute, had both legs, and then when they adapted it, they upgraded the oppression. They upgraded it, and they're like, no one can possibly argue against this one. How little they know, these fools.
Well, I'm gonna watch it, man. I will report back to you whether it's good or bad. I'm hoping that it's good, man, and. I guess we'll be back with more fanboy shenanigans next week. But this Thursday on Mic Check with your boy Steve on Riz Radio Live 365, I have a special guest, the man sitting right there. I called him right before the premiere of his show, so we're going to be talking about his vision for Live 365, and we'll be taking Mantis to the dark part of the hip-hop interwebs, asking him hot takes and questions and his thoughts on rappers such as Lil Nas X and Yachty and all the other colorful names and all the babies.
You're not going to make this easy, are you? I had a great time tonight. What about you?
I had a great time, man. I'm going to get some good sleep. I feel it.
I'm going to sleep like a fucking whore.
So not at all?
No, after she's had a long couple of days of work. This is the Fat Mantis. You can find me, well, pretty much here on YouTube. But once again, Monday I'm just going to be premiering on Live 365. That's Riz Radio, 4 p.m. It's going to be the Fat of the Mantis, and I'm going to be back on the radio where I belong. Steven, my man, please tell them where they can find you.
Well, Roy, they can find me all over the world. Live 365. You can find me on Riz Radio, Instagram, Hold Up TV, YouTube, all those great spaces, man. Join the Discords so you can stay up to date, conversations, all that stuff. I'll see y'all next time.
Until next time, ciao for now, bitches. Echo's gonna